This page is the vibrant cover of BeepMD magazine from June 1993. The artwork is packed with iconic characters, featuring Sonic the Hedgehog and Tails front and center, alongside Sparkster from Rocket Knight Adventures, and characters potentially from Gunstar Heroes and Street Fighter II. The magazine announces a complete guide for the highly anticipated Street Fighter II. It also highlights upcoming classics like Rocket Knight Adventures and Gunstar Heroes. Inside, there's coverage on Mega CD titles, including Sylphid and Kiseo Flying Squadron. A major feature delves into the burgeoning era of RPGs on the system, spotlighting heavy hitters like Shining Force 2, Pop Full Mail, and Phantasy Star IV. There's also a special report on Thunderhawk. This page features a dynamic spread showcasing Golden Axe 2i, a classic beat-em-up on the Mega Drive. The central artwork depicts the game's heroes, including the returning warrior character, a new female character, and two other distinct heroes, confronting a massive panther-like boss creature. The scene is set against a backdrop of a fiery landscape and a distant castle. The headline promises a new intense battle story of 4 warriors. The article highlights key new features for Golden Axe 2i, emphasizing the excitement of combination magic and the introduction of 4 uniquely designed characters with individual special moves. It mentions a total of 12 different magic types available based on character and level, and exciting cooperative magic specifically for 2-player gameplay. This signals a significant evolution in the series' combat and magic systems. Also featured briefly on the page are mentions of other Sega titles and hardware. The robot action game Exeranza, known internationally as Ranger X, is highlighted for its speed and graphics as a trendsetter in the genre, with a scheduled release in May. The page also promotes the Mega Drive 2 console, noting its compact size and 16-bit performance, available for 12,800 yen. Sonic the Hedgehog makes a small appearance, representing the Sega brand. The overall tone is one of excitement for upcoming action titles and the power of the Mega Drive system. This page is all about the quirky Mega CD title, simply called Switch. Presented as a unique gag venture game, it promises a rapid-fire barrage of humor, featuring characters created by popular gag artists. The idea is that hitting the Switch button transports you to a bizarre, comedic dimension filled with over 1,000 gags. The page highlights it as a new genre-blending gag and adventure, compatible with the Sega mouse for intuitive control. Screenshots showcase the game's distinct, cartoonish art style and surreal situations, including baseball and characters watching TV. Alongside the game, the page features the Mega CD2 system itself, described as a new high-power attachment for the Mega Drive, available for 29,800 yen. Also promoted is the Sega mouse, noted as a mouse/micro trackball for the Mega Drive, priced at 5,000 yen, suggesting it's a recommended input method for this game's unique gameplay. The overall impression is one of a highly unusual and humorous gaming experience, leveraging the capabilities of the Mega CD. This page showcases the fascinating Mega CD title, Yumi Mix, classified as an interactive comic. The vibrant main artwork features a cheerful animated girl resting on colorful blob-like creatures beneath the game's bubbly title logo. This groundbreaking title utilizes an impressive 7,000 animation cells and 800 layouts, all hand-drawn by Ryoko Takeuchi and displayed in full-screen animation. The gameplay features a branching story that leads to multiple endings, influenced by the player's command choices. Dialogue is provided by a notable cast of voice actors, including Shoko Hiraoka and Toshihiko Seki. The game's theme song is performed by Yumiko Takahashi, featuring the songs Achichi and Genki Genki Genki. Scattered screenshots demonstrate the game's distinct animated look and various scenes from the story. Yumi Mix is presented as a dedicated title for the Mega Drive CD attachment, highlighting its multimedia capabilities. This page features Gambler Jikochu Shinya 2, Geki 2, Tokyo Mahjong Landhen, a mahjong game released exclusively for the Sega Mega CD. It boasts being the largest in the Jikochu series, promising a wealth of content including 4 worlds, 16 attractions, and encounters with 51 different characters. The page showcases screenshots of the mahjong gameplay, alongside character portraits, all rendered in a distinctive manga style. Various themed areas are highlighted, such as Tenpin World, Tengo World, Jumpin' World, and Inflation World. A special Casino Palace area is mentioned, noting it can only be reached by clearing 3 areas in the story mode. The vibrant character art at the bottom further emphasizes the game's origins, being based on a work by Masayuki Katayama and developed by Game Arts and Yellow Horn. This page features Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2i, Sangokushi 2i, the third entry in Koei's renowned historical strategy series, available across multiple platforms including Mega CD, Mega Drive, and Super Famicom. A striking visual prominently displays a historical figure alongside a powerful tiger, emphasizing the game's tagline, "The lion revives 3 times." The advertisement highlights the expanded scope and drama of this installment, featuring over 500 officers and promising compelling hex-based battles and intricate diplomacy. The Mega CD version is particularly promoted for its unique enhancements, including a special exclusive scenario, fully arranged background music, a detailed character database, and voiced character dialogue, adding a new level of immersion to the historical epic. Screenshots show the strategic map view and character interaction scenes. Details regarding the different versions and supplementary materials are also presented. This page showcases Taiko Rishiden, a historical simulation/RPG from Koei, focusing on the life and rise of Toyotomi Hideyoshi during Japan's Warring States period. The striking artwork features Hideyoshi himself, depicted with ambition in his eyes, alongside supporting figures. The tagline emphasizes his drive, stating, "Hideyoshi too has ambition." This game puts you in the shoes of Hideyoshi, starting from humble origins and aiming to climb the ranks. The advert highlights that the Mega Drive version is scheduled for release on May 28 for 11,800 yen, while the Super Famicom version is already available. Screenshots display the classic Koei style, showing an overhead strategic map view and a tactical battle scene, suggesting a blend of town management, character interaction, and strategic combat as you forge your path to power, just like in their other historical epics. This page features F1 Circus CD, a Formula One racing simulation title for the Sega Mega CD, developed by Nichibutsu. The page showcases dynamic graphics of an F1 car, highlighting the game's connection to the Formula One World Championship. Screenshots display the game's perspective, including an overhead view of the track during a race, and a detailed machine setting menu where players can adjust car parameters like aerodynamics, engine power, transmission, and suspension. This depth suggests a focus on both driving skill and technical setup. The game was scheduled for release in June 1993 on the Mega CD platform, with a price of 8,800 yen before tax. The next page features the space RPG Allshark for the Sega Mega CD. The artwork depicts a vibrant sci-fi setting with a large planet in the background and several dynamic character illustrations, including a main protagonist with blue hair, a female character, and other imposing figures, hinting at the game's dramatic narrative. The article highlights Allshark as a legendary RPG that has been faithfully recreated for the Mega CD, adding new visual scenes and separating planetary exploration from space travel to offer unprecedented scale and immersion. It promises a fantastic world full of emotion and romance. Key features include a vast universe with 30 towns and over 100 indoor maps, boasting a substantial 200,000 characters of dialogue. The game also includes approximately 30 minutes of full animation sequences, pushing the boundaries of game music to create a hyper-music world. The page also mentions the involvement of Akemi, Emi, and Nahomi, who sing the game's image song, with Nahomi providing the voice for the heroine, Shoko. An original soundtrack is also highlighted, composed by Heisato and arranged by Nuarenji, aiming to bring the excitement of the game world to sound. Allshark was developed by Right Stuff and published by Polydor KK, scheduled for release in summer 1993. This page is dedicated to Illusion City, a cyberpunk super legend RPG making its debut on the Mega CD, proudly presented as Microcabin's first title for the platform. Set in a chaotic, near-future Hong Kong, the game follows a man seeking his lost past and partnering with a beautiful member of the Special Police Unit to confront a mysterious, colossal evil. The game promises a revolutionary experience with 8 head character designs and dynamic character direction. It features the VR system VR 2.5 and utilizes a command-based battle system. The audio is highlighted with special arrangement sound by Koichi Ohta. Visuals include striking concept art of the futuristic city and characters, alongside screenshots showing exploration, driving, and combat sequences. Illusion City was scheduled for release on May 28 at a price of 4,980 yen, excluding tax. This page showcases 2 exciting upcoming Sega Mega Drive titles from Tengen. First up is James Bond 007, The Duel, celebrating the 30th anniversary of the 007 series. This action-packed game, featuring the spy with a license to kill, promises stylish action based on objectives like infiltrating bases and rescuing hostages, as shown in the screenshots. It was scheduled for release on May 14th, with a price of 6,800 yen. Below that is the arcade hit conversion, Snow Bros. Nick and Tom are here to rescue the princess in this classic platformer. The Mega Drive version adds 20 original stages to the arcade's 50, bringing the total to a massive 70 levels. Get ready for snow-slinging action, power-ups, and boss battles, playable in 2-player co-op. Snow Bros was set to launch on May 28th for 7,800 yen. Both titles look like solid arcade experiences, making the jump to home consoles. This page features 2 exciting upcoming Sega CD titles from Victor Entertainment. First, we have Kyo Flying Squadron, a unique shooting game set in Japan's Bakumatsu era. It's highlighted for its comical characters, like the girl with bunny ears riding a flying creature, and aims to completely change the image of traditional shooting games. Screenshots show the colorful, fast-paced side-scrolling action. Below that is the highly anticipated arrival of The Secret of Monkey Island on the Sega CD. This classic LucasArts point-and-click adventure is described as a shockingly funny, great adventure, surpassing even movies in entertainment. It brings the iconic pirate world and characters, including the hapless Guybrush Threepwood, to the console, promising a cinematic experience. Both Kyo Flying Squadron and The Secret of Monkey Island are announced for a summer release, with pricing yet to be decided. These look like 2 very different but potentially great additions to the Mega CD library. This page introduces Virgin Games, KK, the Japanese branch of the British American Virgin Games. Their motto here is, "We want to be cherished by everyone. We are Virgin." The introduction from Justin Bieber, Vice President of Virgin Games USA, outlines Virgin's diverse ventures and their entry into game software in 1985, aiming for 100% pure entertainment and bringing their work to Japanese players. Upcoming titles for 1993 are highlighted. For the Super Famicom is Super Slam Dunk, a basketball game featuring 28 teams and advice from Magic Johnson. Screenshots show detailed court perspectives. Cool Spot, a platformer starring the 7-Up mascot, is shown for the Sega Mega Drive, with a Super Famicom version also listed. The screenshots show vibrant platforming environments. Additionally, Ali Boxing is coming to Mega Drive, and Dune is slated for Mega CD, all arriving in the summer and fall of '93. This page features information about the Amusement Media Academy, set to open in April 1994. Described as a dream workshop of the multimedia era, the Academy aims to train creators for the forefront of the game, anime, comic, and voice acting industries, leveraging networks directly connected to the field. They are currently recruiting for their first intake of students. The Academy offers 2-year programs in computer games, animation, comics, and voice actor talent. Details on how to request a free application guide, apply, and attend open campus events are provided, along with contact information. Additionally, the page includes an announcement for the 3rd-term recruitment audition for new voice actors and anime singers, seeking individuals aged 13 and over, with or without experience, for the Harajuku Seiyu Produce office. This page introduces Pop Sinland, a unique action game making its debut on the Sega CD. What immediately stands out is its distinctive visual style, featuring characters and environments rendered with a charming claymation or stop-motion aesthetic, bringing them to life in a way few other games did. The core highlight promoted here is the incredibly deep character customization system. Players aren't limited to a predefined hero. Instead, you can mix and match head, body, and weapon parts, each offering 16 different types. This allows for a massive 4,096 possible character combinations, ensuring your adventure feels truly personal. The game tasks you with entering the world of dreams, which has been consumed by the Dream Eater, and embarking on a great escape operation. You'll need to overcome 8 hidden realms to rescue the trapped dream world. Screenshots hint at varied gameplay, showing top-down segments and side-scrolling action sequences, suggesting a diverse set of challenges across these dream realms. Toppenland was developed by Wave and was scheduled for release in late June, with an estimated price of 7,800 yen. Its blend of creative visuals, extensive customization, and action-adventure gameplay certainly made it a notable title for the Sega CD library. This issue presents a detailed overview of new and upcoming Sega Genesis/Mega Drive games. New Game Scramble reviews recent releases, including Battlemania 2 and Cool Spot. The B Mega Hot menu highlights titles like Pulseman, Rocket Knight Adventures, and Gunstar Heroes, with the second part covering Shinobi 2i and LHX Attack Chopper. A major focus is the Mega Drive RPG feature, exploring Shining Force 2, Phantasy Star IV, and others. A special report covers Thunderhawk and Castlevania Bloodlines. A significant draw is the Ultra Special Complete Guide for Street Fighter II, including character profiles. The Mega CD Press previews upcoming CD titles such as Sylphid and Sonic CD. Regular columns provide news, reader content, and company spotlights like Konami and Sega/Falcom. This page features the shop data sales charts for Mega Drive and Game Gear software. The Mega Drive Top 10 shows sales are a bit subdued this month compared to the usual fiscal year-end rush, but anticipates exciting future releases. Puyo Puyo holds the top spot, remaining highly popular, while Streets of Rage 2 is strong in second place, benefiting from a re-release. New titles like Ninja Gaiden, Splatterhouse Part 3, and Annette again made a strong debut in the top 5. The Game Gear Top 5 highlights that the handheld is seeing an unexpected increase in game releases, with quality improving. Puyo Puyo also dominates the Game Gear chart at number 1, with Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Streets of Rage also making the top 3. Showing the popularity of flagship Sega franchises on the portable system, Shining Force Gaiden and a new Mickey Mouse title round out the top 5. This page presents two different perspectives on the gaming scene. The top section, User Data, reveals the top 20 games users most want to see ported to their platform. This list covers a wide range of titles, including arcade fighting hits like Fatal Fury 2 and Art of Fighting, acclaimed RPG series like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, and popular PC games such as Princess Maker and Snatcher. The commentary notes the exciting trend of recent popular game ports and suggests this trend is likely to continue, with anticipation for major titles. Featured here are screenshots for Madu Monogatari 1, highlighted as a confirmed port, Sengoku, noted as an enjoyable early Neo Geo action game port, and Nobunaga's Ambition, Zenkokuban, recommended for simulation beginners. The bottom section, Shop Data, provides a look at the top 5 most popular video games currently in shops, while suggesting the fighting game craze might be leveling off slightly. Titles like Street Fighter II Turbo still hold a high position. The chart lists Virtua Racing, quote, Lethal Enforcers, Street Fighter II Turbo, Super Chase, and Quiz Gakumon no Susume as the top sellers. Screenshots showcase the action from Super Chase, and a quiz game screen from Quiz Gakumon no Susume. Brief summary. This page details user-requested game ports, top 20, and current shop sales charts, top 5, reflecting player desires and market trends. This page presents user data on the most anticipated upcoming games, compiled into a top 20 list. It highlights the excitement around new releases for the platform. The top spot goes to Sylphid on Mega CD, praised for its powerful opening demo and immense anticipation. Phantasy Star IV is ranked second, with commentary noting its character design feels familiar to fans and anticipation for its story development. Seima Densetsu 3x3 Eyes, another Mega CD title, is third and nearing completion, expected for summer release. Shin Megami Tensei for Mega CD is fourth, with development progressing well, and the CD version promising additional events. Night Striker on Mega CD takes fifth place, being the first home console port of the arcade shooter, generating high fan excitement. Other notable titles in the top 20 include Panorama Cotton, mentioned for its cute 3D graphics, and Exchanger, highlighted for its impressive visual presentation. The list also features games like Sonic CD, Rocket Knight Adventures, Super Shinobi 2, and Robotic Alesti, showcasing a diverse range of genres that players are eagerly awaiting. The page emphasizes that with titles like these on the horizon, fans can look forward to enjoying the console throughout the year. This page lays out the upcoming software schedule across the Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear platforms. The Mega Drive section lists a wide variety of titles spanning action, shooting, RPG, and sports genres, from major publishers like Sega, Itia, Konami, and Tengen. Several games, such as the anticipated Street Fighter II, Champion Edition, and Shining Force 2, are listed with tentative release dates, or undecided, creating anticipation for specific periods like summer or fall. Moving to the Mega CD, we see upcoming titles including ports like Night Striker and original games like A Rank Thunder, The Birth of a New Legend, and Seima Densetsu, 3x3 Eyes, the latter having been highlighted previously as a highly anticipated release. This schedule details their genres and target release months, showcasing the growing library for the CD add-on. The Game Gear schedule features titles like Shining Force Gaiden and Bare Knuckle 2, Streets of Rage 2, offering a mix of RPGs, action games, and more for the handheld. Like the other sections, many releases are listed as undecided, building excitement for future announcements. A small editorial section features comments from the BeepMD staff and includes a screenshot from Yu Yu Hakusho Gaiden, showing characters in a classroom setting with a dialogue box featuring a monster, suggesting an RPG or adventure title. The key at the bottom clarifies common abbreviations used for genres like ACT, Action, SHT Shooting, RPG Role-Playing Game, and others, essential for understanding the game data provided. Software developers share updates on upcoming games. Sega releases X-Lancer, May 28th. Capcom teases more Street Fighter II info. Konami announces Mega Drive games Vampire Killer and Rocket Knight Adventures. Namco reveals the battle game Balljacks. Microcabin releases Illusion City on Mega CD, May 28th. Game Arts hints at a summer release for Sylpheed. Sims releases Kick and Rush, and plans for Vei, Shin Megami Tensei, and Wolf Fang. Messiah shares a message about music. Wolf Team plans an ARC series summer release. Gensu Dao Studio sets Mega Schwarzschild 2's release for June 25th. Shieldwave announces Pops and Land for late June. Victor Entertainment details KO Flying Squadron. Nippon Busan discusses F1 Circus CD. RIOT mentions Cyborg 009 and plans for the Tokyo Toy Show. This page presents game reviews in a unique MegaDog race format, where games are rated by 4 different reviewers, and their average score is represented by dogs running on a track. The more dogs that make it to the finish line, the higher the overall rating. Reviewed here is Namco's arcade port, Balljacks, a futuristic battle game where players use robot arms to grab balls. Reviewers found the simple rules enjoyable and the action intense, though one felt it might lack depth for extended play. Also reviewed is James Bond 007, The Duel. This action game brings the iconic spy back to rescue a beauty and tackle various villains and locations, like a jungle hideout and volcano lab. Opinions were mixed. While some praised the classic Bond BGM and action moments like hiding behind doors, others found Bond's movement a bit comical and the difficulty high, especially with limited weapons and repetitive level structure. The game felt a little dated to one reviewer. The page also includes brief profiles of the 4 reviewers: a beginner girl gamer, a foreign game enthusiast, a hardcore Mania group member, and a general user, offering diverse perspectives on the games. This page continues the BeepMD race review format, showcasing 4 more games. First up is Xaranza, a stylish shooting game with impressive graphics that appealed strongly to robot fans, noted for its detailed production and support for the 6-button controller. Despite some difficulty, the gameplay opens up with practice, earning a solid average score of 7.5. Next is Snow Brothers, a classic arcade action platformer known for its cute characters and simple, enjoyable gameplay loop where you defeat enemies by rolling snowballs. Reviewers found it a faithful port, though opinions on its depth varied, resulting in an average score of 6.25. Third is Taiko Rishiden, a historical simulation game putting players in the shoes of Toyotomi Hideyoshi during his rise to power. It includes RPG elements alongside strategy. While appreciated for its atmosphere and accessibility, reviewers found the progression potentially slow and the visuals somewhat simple, leading to an average score of 6.0. Finally, Night Legend is a simulation focusing on World War II tank warfare from the perspective of the German army. It features simplified controls compared to typical hex-based strategy games, but was found to lack strategic depth and visual flair, scoring an average of 6.25. This review section covers 4 Sega Mega Drive games. Boogie Woogie Bowling, an exclusive, was praised for easy gameplay but criticized for inconsistent pin physics and plain presentation, averaging scores of 5.5 and 6. LHX Attack Chopper, a helicopter sim, offered realistic graphics but suffered from underwhelming visuals and production, earning scores of 6.5 and 6. Night Striker, an arcade port, disappointed with poor visuals despite its speed and music, receiving scores of 6.75 and 4. Illusion City, a Japan-exclusive cyberpunk RPG, offered a unique atmosphere but faced criticism for its rough story, unfriendly PC port aspects, and scoring an average of 5.25 and 7. This month's game coverage features 2 reviews. Aha! Harima Nada, a sumo wrestling game, is criticized for its repetitive fighting game mechanics, dated feel, and lack of depth, earning a 5.25. Kick and Rusk, a soccer game, offers fast-paced gameplay and multiple modes, but suffers from difficult controls, resulting in a 6.0 score. The editorial team notes a surprising number of releases, offering a variety of genres. While not highlighting any definitive hits, the team recommends exploring titles like Snow Brothers and Taiku Rishiden, as well as revisiting previous reviews of Night Striker and Illusion City. They highlight the solid selection overall, and express interest in Kick and Rusk. A trend of games being developed by overseas developers is also observed. This page features the BeepMD Reader Race, a section where readers rate MegaDrive games on a 10-point scale, and the average scores are published as a ranking. The aim is to provide reader-driven reviews and insights into the game lineup. The ranking table shows the current top-rated games based on these votes, indicating shifts in popularity and consensus. Highlighted picks this month include The Ninja Warriors, ranking 15th, which is praised for its solid controls and production values, despite some graphical drawbacks like sprite flicker. The review notes the CD version's excellent BGM, and deems it a great port of the arcade game. Among the contenders, Lemmings at 61st place is appreciated for its simple yet engaging puzzle gameplay, highlighting the fun of issuing commands to the titular creatures. While noting the graphical simplicity, the port is considered well done. Satoru Nakajima's F1 Super license, ranking 73rd, is seen as an improvement over its predecessor, with smoother movement and better controls, though its overtake system receives criticism. In the other mentions section, Forgotten Worlds, at 185th place, is discussed as an early title. It's noted for its fun 2-player co-op experience and cool demo sequences, but the screencuts are found unsatisfactory compared to the arcade version. The commentary on the rankings mentions Streets of Rage 2 taking the top spot, with fluctuations among other titles like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and older releases. This page continues the BeepMD Reader Race, featuring more reader-submitted reviews and rankings. Highlighted games include Air Management at 83rd place, where readers enjoy expanding airline routes, though some find the lack of alternate rules repetitive. Fatal Labyrinth, ranking 104th, receives praise for its graphics and character size, but notes a lackluster ending. Chase HQ2, Special Criminal Investigation, comes in at 149th, appreciated for the car selection and atmosphere, but criticized for the lack of vehicle attacks and perceives zero sense of speed. Crewball, at 189th, is noted as the first overseas pinball game for the system, with comments on the difficult flipper controls and loud sound effects overshadowing the music. In the Attention Horse introduction section, Glock Air Battle at 216th is described as very different from the arcade version, with changes to gameplay and music. Whiplash, ranked 222nd, is considered graphically decent, but players found the limited weapon variety and tough enemies lead to repetitive gameplay. The main ranking table on the right continues to list many games, showing their genre and average score based on reader votes. There's also a small section with general reader feedback and requests about magazine content. This page continues the BeepMD Reader Race rankings, listing games from 116 downwards, covering various genres including action, sports, puzzle, and strategy titles. The main feature is a comprehensive look at Shining Force, the legacy of great intention, presented as a stable of famous horses entry written by Sergeant Sakayama. The Shining Force section includes a screenshot of the game's combat and menus, along with basic game information and V-sign odds based on reader and editorial averages. Sergeant Sakayama praises Shining Force enthusiastically, calling it the representative of fun games. He highlights the satisfying gameplay, the compelling story, the engaging battles, and the memorable characters like Musashi and Hanzo, even joking about the surprising inclusion of yogurt. He notes the anticipation for Shining Force 2. Below, a reader feedback section titled, "Leave it to the readers," specifically for Shining Force, echoes the positive sentiment, with readers citing the fun battles, rich characters, good story, and replayability as highlights. Some minor criticisms mention repetitive puzzles and limited movement range. Elsewhere on the page, there's a brief commentary on the movement of games in the lower ranks of the reader race tables C and D, mentioning games like Black Hole Assault, Tasmania, and RB.II. Baseball 4. Here, there's also a graph showing the distribution of reader votes, summarizing the overall participation data. This page continues the B Mega Reader Race rankings and features commentary from magazine reporters on games in the middle ranks. Reporter Honda Beru shares his thoughts on Golden Axe, which was his first Mega Drive game. He enjoyed the arcade version and highlights the satisfying feeling of using the dash attack in the Mega Drive port, noting that the sequels didn't quite capture the original's unique charm. The game's reader score was 7.6461, while the magazine score was 6.75. Another game featured is Sunsoft's puzzle title, Shiginjo, Forbidden Castle. The reviewer prefers the Mega Drive port over the PC version, specifically praising the selection of music and backgrounds available in smaller sections. Upspissel shooting game Gamora is recommended as a potential future purchase, noted as a rare collector's item. There's also an update on the Kickboxing, a game that hasn't yet appeared in the reader race rankings due to low votes, currently noted as being about 60% complete. The page also includes Table D of the B Mega Reader Race, listing more games and their corresponding reader and editorial scores as part of the ongoing popularity contest. This page presents the B Mega Reader Race rankings with an analysis of arcade game ports on the Super Famicom and Mega Drive. The article, "The Revival of Arcade Game Ports," compares the two consoles, using pie charts to show the proportion of arcade ports. It highlights the Super Famicom's strong titles like Street Fighter II and the Mega Drive's higher volume, speculating if games like Final Fight CD and Night Striker signal a shift towards more faithful arcade conversions. The page also includes community contests, Forecast Game for predicting Fatal Fury's ranking, and Odds Game for guessing the average score of Sega's Switch. Prizes include Captain America and Marble Madness. The editorial concludes by discussing the reader race's close competition and anticipating the impact of upcoming releases and community trends, like the soda phenomenon. This page takes a detour from gaming to cover the world of motorsport, specifically the opening round of the 1993 All-Japan F3000 series at Suzuka Circuit. It highlights the surprising pole position taken by Apicella in the domestic dome machine. The race itself saw a strong battle develop between Eddie Cheever and Kazuyoshi Hoshino, with Cheever ultimately winning the first race of the season. The page also details the participation of game companies in Japanese racing, noting that Capcom has entered teams in both F3000 and F3 this year. Adding a touch of gaming personality to the track, Technos Japan is competing in the F3 series, with their car prominently featuring the character Oku-kun on the nose. Kazuaki Takamura is mentioned as the driver for Technos Japan. This page features the B Mega CM Detective Agency, highlighting two video game commercials. The first is for the revitalized Mega Drive 2 and the new Mega CD2, featuring animated segments with Sonic and Tails showing off the console's features, including the 6-button pad and the ability to play over 250 titles, plus the new Mega CD attachment. It also briefly shows a clip from a J-League Pro Striker commercial. The second featured CM is a rare, local-only corporate image commercial from Technosoft, which aired in Kyushu. This short ad depicts idols interacting with a frying pan and a cartoon gargoyle, representing Technosoft's philosophy of shaping play into form in a quirky way. Behind-the-scenes commentary mentions the tight production schedule for the Mega Drive CM animation and the marketing intent behind the unusual Technosoft ad. This page introduces a segment called B Mega AM Network, focusing on hot new arcade games. The highlight is the return of the legendary Outrun series with its latest entry, Outrunners. The game is a dramatic evolution, sending players on a world tour with two distinct routes, westward and eastward. Players can pick their ride from a selection of 8 different cars, adding significant variety to the race. Course selection at checkpoints adds a strategic layer, restricted only to the leading car. The page shows vibrant screenshots of the game's diverse locations and the arcade cabinet itself, noting that communication play is supported, allowing friends to race head-to-head. It also provides a brief history of the groundbreaking series, starting with the original Outrun from 1986, lauded for its unique Enjoy the Drive sensation that captivated players, followed by Turbo Outrun in 1989, which powered up the experience with a non-overheating turbo boost, setting the stage for faster, more intense drives set across the American continent. Now, Outrunners in 1993 takes the series global, expanding the fun dramatically with more options and competitive play. This page is packed with news and information, highlighting upcoming events and hot new games. The big news is the Tokyo Toy Show, where the highly anticipated Mega Drive version of virtual racing is set to be revealed. This port of the incredible arcade polygon racer, originally on the powerful Model 1 board, is coming to the Mega Drive on a standard room cartridge. The article notes the technical challenge and compares it to Nintendo's Star Fox on the Super Famicom, another polygon racer. You can see screenshots showing the impressive graphics and multiple camera views the game offers. Also featured are games you can get hands-on with at the show. Konami will be showcasing their 4th Genesis/Mega Drive title, which looks to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Hyperstone heist based on the screenshot. Sunsoft is bringing their shoot-'em-up Sylphia, and fans of popular anime will be excited to hear about Yu Yu Hakusho, Tournament Tactics, an action-adventure title featuring familiar characters that will also be playable. A smaller section mentions that virtual racing was previewed at a Sega strategy presentation back in March, alongside other major upcoming titles like Phantasy Star IV and Sonic the Hedgehog 3, indicating Sega's focus on bringing cutting-edge experiences to their console. The page briefly touches on Sega's plan to launch a game service via US Cable TV in 1994, offering Genesis titles to subscribers. This page is full of exciting updates, kicking off with news about upcoming laser-active titles. We're getting a helicopter shooting game, tentatively titled High Roller Battle, featuring realistic CG and cockpit views, aiming for an August release. Also coming to Eldrum Squared is Manhattan Requiem, a mystery-adventure game from Riverhill Soft, featuring bilingual dialogue and live-action video. There's coverage of Konami's 5th anniversary celebration, including a live music event with the SST band performing, showcasing their strong connection to game music. For video fans, there's an update on the YS OVA, YS, the Sanctuary of the Sky, which is proving popular, with Volume 3 now available. A handy new hardware peripheral is hitting the market. The XMD2RGB/S unit allows Mega Drive owners to get video output for a cleaner picture on their displays. The new release section features various music creds and a video release. Notably, the soundtrack for the Mega CD Game Night Striker by Zunta is out now. Fans of action films will be interested in the video release of Police Story 3, known internationally as Super Cop, which ties into the game adaptation. This page highlights the 3 young women who formed the group PAF from Sandstorm, the vocal and voice acting talent featured in the Mega CD game Allshark. The page includes profiles and an interview with the members, Nahomi Tabata, Akemi Kamata, and Emi Aoi. They introduce themselves, share their perceived charm points, and discuss their aspirations for the year, emphasizing their dedication to singing. Each profile provides their height and measurements, birth date, favorite foods, and hobbies, offering a glimpse into their personalities and interests outside of their work on the game. They are presented as key figures associated with Sandstorm's involvement in Allshark. This page delivers a special report on the highly anticipated air combat title, Thunderhawk, for the Mega CD. This polygonal 3D shooter, known internationally by various names including A3 Thunderstrike, is praised for its speedy and smooth graphics, handling rotation and scaling with capability. The page highlights the strategic depth beyond just shooting, emphasizing mission execution. You'll see shots of the briefing room where objectives are detailed, and the detailed cockpit view showing essential information like missile count and radar. It notes the game's origins as a hit on PC platforms like Amiga and IBM PC, now making its way to the Mega CD with impressive hardware utilization. The overall impression is that this is a substantial and capable entry in the air combat genre. This page features a special report on the latest entry in the Castlevania series, titled Vampire Killer, making its debut on the Mega Drive. It's highlighted as a new, original title for the console. A key feature is the ability to choose between 2 protagonists with distinct fighting styles, Johnny Morris, a descendant of the Belmont clan, and Eric Licard, who wields a spear. The page also showcases enemies like Dracula and the cruel female vampire Elizabeth Bartley, who is plotting Dracula's revival. While maintaining the series' signature atmosphere, the game is noted for featuring more outdoor battles compared to previous installments. Below the main feature, the page includes a look back at earlier Castlevania titles, covering the original Castlevania, Castlevania II, Simon's Quest, the Game Boy titles Castlevania, The Adventure and Belmont's Revenge, and Castlevania II-1, Dracula's Curse. Each is briefly described with a screenshot, acknowledging their significance and qualities, such as Castlevania II's impressive graphics and sound, thanks to a custom chip. The overall sentiment expresses high anticipation for this new Mega Drive game, building on the legacy of these classic entries. This page kicks off a new release scramble, highlighting upcoming Mega Drive titles. The featured games include the highly anticipated sequel, Battlemania 2, Time Dominator, Slap Fight, Cool Spot, MiG-29, Race Drivin', the Super Shinobi 2, and Panorama Cotton. The main focus is on Battlemania 2, presented with screenshots from 3 distinct stages. The reviewer expresses excitement for this sequel, teasing the return of characters like Don Morgustin and the introduction of bizarre, multi-jointed, and mech-like bosses. The stages shown include a tall building called Heisei Babylon, a train level, and a temple, promising varied environments, and the series' signature strange enemy designs. The game is currently 45% complete. Also spotlighted is Time Dominator, described as an orthodox action game from Vic Takai, notable for its speed and creative level design, drawing comparisons to Sonic the Hedgehog. The main character, Minute, is a time-traveling robot whose unique charm point is his plug-like tail, but he requires collecting electrical energy to move. Screenshots show Minute navigating diverse levels, including outdoor areas and interiors, demonstrating the game's fast-paced action and varied visuals. Time Dominator is reported to be 70% complete and set for a July release. This page continues the new release scramble with 2 distinct Mega Drive titles. First, we look at Slap Fight MD, a vertical shooter known for its unique power-up system. Instead of collecting standard items, you gather chips to customize your abilities, allowing for a level of strategy the reviewer finds appealing. The game includes both original and arrange modes, with the latter offering enhanced graphics, particularly for explosions. Also featured is Cool Spot, the debut Mega Drive action game from Virgin Games, starring the familiar 7-Up mascot. It's described as a charming and straightforward platformer, where the goal is to collect 7-Up pins scattered throughout the levels. The game is noted for its varied stages, and includes an interesting bonus level featuring a giant 7-Up pin. Early impressions suggest it's a solid and enjoyable character-based action game. This page continues the new release scramble, highlighting more exciting Sega Mega Drive titles. Featured are 4 main games nearing completion. MiG-29 is presented as a polygon flight simulator and shooter, focusing on dogfights and missions with a wide array of weapons. Race Drivin', a classic polygon racer, returns with added courses and a course editor, plus the notable replay feature. The Super Shinobi 2, a direct sequel, is nearly finished and boasts improved graphics and expanded character moves thanks to its increased memory capacity. Panorama Cotton, a cute-mup from the Cotton arcade staff, promises smooth 3D processing, detailed character movements, and amusing boss designs. Additionally, the page briefly touches upon a wave of diverse new releases, including sports titles like Jordan vs. Bird, Mutant League Football, Bob, and Super WrestleMania, alongside action games such as The Immortal, Flashback, and Prince of Persia. This page dives deep into Ranger Ranex, known as Exoranza in Japan, proclaiming its potential to become a classic. The article highlights the game's technical prowess, utilizing advanced hardware features like 128 simultaneous colors to push the limits of the Mega Drive. It introduces new features added to the final version, including an opening demo and detailed stage breakdowns, even revealing stages up to level 6. The review praises the game's attention to detail, such as light effects and falling leaves, noting that playing it is even more impressive than the screenshots suggest. The page also covers the dynamic viewpoint changes in the opening demo, showcasing staff credits against a darkening background that slowly reveals details of the environment and enemy aircraft, which then move into formation before the perspective dramatically shifts towards a distant ruin, building anticipation. This visual spectacle is described as a highlight, demonstrating sophisticated presentation techniques like dynamic viewpoint shifts. The sidebar menu lists other games covered later, including Rocket Knight Adventures and Gunstar Heroes. This page confirms the previously mentioned 6-button pad support for Ranger Max, noting the X and Z buttons are used for controlling the bike's movement, which is usually automatic. The standard 3-button pad still works perfectly fine for gameplay. Beyond the initial game startup, a cool demo scene plays before each stage. This demo utilizes wireframe graphics to display targets and features dynamic camera angles, perfectly fitting the game's atmosphere. The page then moves on to detail Stage 1. The goal is straightforward. Eliminate all designated targets, then defeat the boss that appears. This stage serves as an introduction, allowing players to get comfortable with the controls and overall feel of the game before things get too tough. Initial weapons include a useful stretching fire beam and a powerful bomb effective against ground enemies. Remember the bomb's blast travels in the direction it was moving? Finally, it tackles the Stage 1 boss, a formidable tank-like walker. It's heavily armed, making direct confrontation tricky. The key strategy involves docking with your bike to unleash homing missiles, which are ideal for destroying its legs and halting its movement. Once immobilized, target its weak point, the head. This page moves on to detail the next stages of Ranger Carracks. Stage 2 feels like the real battle begins after the introductory Stage 1. The setting shifts to a dark cave, where the key is utilizing the game's unique energy system. You must find sources of light to replenish your energy, as some enemies are even weak to light. Breaking certain rocks in the environment will reveal these light sources, and neglecting this will prevent progress. Items include a homing laser, activated by picking up a specific power-up, and shield recovery units are also present nearby. The Stage 2 boss is a dog-like mech whose attack patterns change dramatically once its head is destroyed. Pay attention to the background, as the distant passage offers a dynamically scrolling perspective that adds to the immersion. Following this is Stage 3. The bike unit from Stage 1 is gone, but you'll be accompanied by a carrier for support. The stage is set in a beautiful forest near Mount Fuji, where flying through the trees can even cause leaves to scatter. There's one item here, a bird-marked item that grants a metal bird weapon, which flies towards nearby enemies. The Stage 3 boss is fought with Mount Fuji in the background. It has organic-looking tentacles and attacks with a liquid-like substance. Bombs are effective against this boss, and getting behind it is a good strategy. After taking some damage, it transforms and reveals a brain-like core, which it uses to attack aggressively. This page delves into the later stages of Ranger Phronix. Starting with Stage 4, the scene shifts to a night city backdrop, where you ascend towering buildings, systematically destroying targets on the walls while fending off robot enemies. A key challenge here is the absence of energy refill points, emphasizing the strategic use of special weapons like bombs. Stage 5 marks the battle's climax, featuring a massive enemy supercarrier that's too large to fit on screen and cannot be destroyed, forcing you to focus on evasion. The boss for this stage is a core protected by walls. You must destroy targets on alternating sides to create openings and finally take it down. Energy can be recovered from enemy explosions here. Stage 6 brings you to what appears to be the enemy's main base or fortress. The attacks become significantly more intense. While you can regain energy from enemy searchlights, doing so reveals your position, inviting attacks from enemy interceptor fighters. Robot enemies, including some that try to get behind you, also populate this stage. The developers mention that they finally completed the game and hope their passion is evident, with plans for bigger projects in the future. This page covers the upcoming action game, Rocket Knight Adventures. Konami's first original title for the Mega Drive, it features the protagonist Sparkster, a possum knight, equipped with a rocket pack. The reviewer is clearly impressed, calling Sparkster's movements poppy and cute, and the action exhilarating. The core gameplay revolves around Sparkster's rocket attack, which is charged up and then launched in any direction using the directional pad and a button release. This is used not just for offense against enemies, but also for rapid movement, reaching high places, and bouncing off walls for wall jumps. Releasing the attack button without input performs a spinning sword attack for damage. Beyond the rocket pack, Sparkster also utilizes his tail. This isn't for attack but for utility, allowing him to hang from branches or pipes in the air and even hook onto poles underwater to control buoyancy. The reviewer finds these tail actions cute too. The game includes power-ups that enhance Sparkster's rocket engine, leading to super high-speed horizontal scrolling sections. Screenshots highlight various abilities, including angled rocket attacks bouncing off walls, zigzag jumps, the tail-hanging mechanic, and even Sparkster striking a pose while idle or losing balance at ledges. The game is rated 90% complete, supports one player, and is scheduled for an August release. The overall impression is one of fast, fun, and varied action, centered around the versatile abilities of the charming protagonist, Sparkster. This page continues the look at Rocket Knight Adventures, detailing the early stages. Stage 1 sees Sparkster heading to Zephyr Castle, which has been attacked by the Dark Knight Axle Gear. The path is immediately fraught with various pig-themed enemies, some in tanks, some with swords, and even some piloting mechs reminiscent of Gradius. It's noted that despite their different forms, they are all pigs, described as surprisingly intimidating. Sparkster's reaction to defeated pigs is amusement. Later, a high-speed flying section introduces a serpentine enemy. This stage also formally introduces Axle Gear, the sworn enemy of Sparkster, and the Lumina family's princess, Princess Sherry, a peace-loving Zomul who has been captured by Axle Gear. Stage 2 involves pursuing the fleeing Axle Gear. Running isn't enough, so Sparkster hops into a minecart, or Traco. While initially seeming faster, the ride proves challenging, with familiar pig enemies reappearing and broken rails presenting hazards. This stage features a multi-segmented boss, a large worm-like creature whose weakness is its tail. Finally, a message from the developers introduces Sparkster himself, describing him as the star of the show, a great adventurer with a cute mask and a passionate soul, different from typical characters. The game promises more to come. This page introduces the simulation game, Night Legend, for the Mega Drive, presented as a tank battle simulation set in either World War I or WW2. Based on the title and content, players take on the role of a German tank commander, engaging in battles against Allied forces. The game utilizes a pseudo-real-time system, deviating from traditional turn-based strategy, offering a high degree of freedom in tactical decisions. A major highlight discussed is the game's focus on realism. It features maps based on actual terrain and incredibly detailed data for tanks, covering aspects like armor thickness, speed, firepower, and range, making it appealing to military simulation enthusiasts. The character graphics are also noted for being based on real historical photos. Progression is tied to combat success. Destroying enemy tanks leads to rank promotions, enhancing the player's abilities and increasing the advantage in battle. Players can also earn medals, such as the Iron Cross, for achieving certain combat milestones. However, the review points out the harsh reality that death is permanent and negates any progress, adding a significant challenge. The level of historical detail and the consequences of battle are emphasized as key aspects of the game. This Night Legend guide provides tactical advice for early missions. In Case White, the 1st of September 1939, maintain a diagonal advance while keeping units together, slowing near the center for defense and counterattack. Zbura Encirclement, the 10th of September 1939, requires a counterintuitive split of forces to avoid enemy encirclement, moving diagonally off-road to locate enemies for flanking. Case Yellow, the 11th of May 1940, emphasizes careful bridge crossing, cross in single file, regrouping before advancing to avoid immediate defeat. The guide aims to enhance players' experience of commanding tanks in the game's War SLG environment. This page delves into the intricate assessment system within Taiko Rishiden, a historical simulation game charting the rise of Toyotomi Hideyoshi. The core concept is that these regular council meetings are the player's primary chance to advance. The process flows through 4 distinct phases. First, personnel announcements determine promotions based on merit, leading to more challenging roles as your status grows. This is followed by the War Council, where strategy against enemies is decided, and players have the opportunity to voice opinions on actions like attacking castles or negotiating peace. Based on these decisions, military announcements issue specific combat or diplomatic orders, which the player must execute. Finally, domestic affairs announcements assign tasks like developing land or selling rice, where players can volunteer for assignments to build trust and skills. The page highlights various job types available in these phases, such as military tasks like assaulting castles, diplomatic missions like persuasion or peace treaties, and domestic duties like purchasing goods or building infrastructure. Success in these tasks often depends on the player's developing abilities, emphasizing the need to improve skills through experience. Screenshots show the council meeting and examples of task assignments. The page stresses that understanding and performing well in these assessments is crucial for Hideyoshi's journey to power. Navigating merchants and locations is crucial in Taiko Rishiden. Success hinges on utilizing various establishments. The rice shop facilitates trade and skill development. The stable provides horses and horsemanship training. The blacksmith crafts weapons and armor, but smiths can be unreliable. The doctor offers quick but costly healing, while the inn provides cheaper rest and information gathering. The tea house is ideal for intelligence gathering. A map highlights key cities in the Kinki region. Inabayama is good for rice selling and horse handling. Azuchi is where cannons are made. Kyoto is the cultural center. Sakai is a major port for foreign goods. Naniwa sells art and weapons. Yamato offers tea ceremony and art training. Mastering these interactions and understanding each city's unique opportunities is essential for skill development and ultimately becoming the taiko. This page introduces the upcoming Sega Genesis title, Gunstar Heroes. Developed by Treasure, a new team composed of former Konami staff known for their quality work. The game is described as delivering an exhilarating combination of thrill, speed, and excitement. The preview highlights the seamless progression of intense shootouts and the abundant variety of bosses, noting it feels like a high-end arcade game. The innovative weapon system is a major focus, explaining how the 4 basic weapon types, Force, Lightning, Flame, and Chaser, can be combined in pairs to create a multitude of different attacks, totaling 14 variations. Images showcase the 2 main characters, Red and Blue, and demonstrate the visual effects of the various weapon types and combinations. The preview expresses high anticipation, suggesting the game is strong enough to justify purchasing the console itself. This page dives deeper into the intense action of Gunstar Heroes, declaring that numerous enemies will flood the screen right from stage 1, requiring players to utilize the full range of moves like punches, throws, sliding, wall jumps, jump kicks, and hanging, not just basic attacks. The difficulty is highlighted as high, but the gameplay feel is praised as distinctly arcade-like. Screenshots illustrate the progression, showing the initial village area, impressive explosion effects, and various enemies such as the unique dancing plant mini-boss, the agile Pinky Robo mid-boss, and the imposing Pinky Robo loader boss. The lower section emphasizes the significance of Treasure as a developer, referring to them as truly a Mega Drive treasure. It states that Gunstar Heroes is their highly anticipated first game for Sega, and clarifies that Treasure is not merely a subcontractor, but is recognized by Sega for their powerful development team, suggesting a connection or importance akin to Sonic Team. The distinctive Treasure logo animation is also described, showing it form from a rotating, opening polygon. Stage 2 of Gunstar Heroes, Once in a Lifetime Speed, Break Through the Tunnel, is a high-speed gauntlet featuring vehicle sections, train battles, and vertical descents. The stage culminates in a fight against the 7 Force, a boss with multiple transforming forms: Tails Force, Tiger Force, Crab Force, Eagle Force, Soldier Force, Urchin Force, and Blaster Force. The game highlights the distinct appearance of each form. The text also profiles Gray, an Empire general, and Green, one of his executives piloting the 7 Force. A section then lists the development team, Treasure's previous work, showcasing their history with arcade titles and console games. Finally, a developer comment praises the Sega Mega Drive's CPU, 68,000, for its performance. This page features a reader opinion column titled, This Month's Argument. Don't need a 32-bit machine yet? It delves into the ongoing discussion surrounding the next generation of consoles and the current state of the Mega Drive. The consensus among many Mega Drive users seems unsettled by the prospect of new, more powerful hardware, like the rumored 32-bit machines. Readers weigh in with various perspectives. Some argue that a 32-bit system is necessary now because the Mega Drive's hardware is reaching its limits, citing games that can't be ported or are better suited for newer systems like the 3DO. Others contend that rushing a new console is a mistake, emphasizing the need for a strong software lineup, compatibility with existing hardware like the Mega CD, and waiting until the technology and market are mature enough, especially compared to the competition like Super Nintendo. There's a strong sentiment that Sega needs to ensure a smooth transition and avoid the pitfalls of a weak software library that plagued the Mega CD at launch. The column highlights the balancing act between pushing technology forward and ensuring a solid user experience with plenty of compelling games. A small section mentions the theme for the August issue will focus on Sega commercials, discussing how they could be improved or made more impactful. This page features the user's voice column, where readers share their opinions on games and the industry. There's significant excitement surrounding the upcoming Street Fighter II Special Champion Edition port, with readers viewing Capcom's support as a boost for the Mega Drive market. Other popular games discussed include Splatterhouse 2, praised for its balance and nostalgic feel, and the Ninja Warriors. Readers offer encouragement to Sega and third-party developers, emphasizing the importance of a strong game library and the loyalty of Mega Drive fans. Comments touch on memorable game commercials, like those for Streets of Rage 2 and Puyo Puyo. The page also includes reader-submitted illustrations depicting characters from Street Fighter 2, the Ninja Warriors, All Shark, Cotton, Puyo Puyo, and other action games. A concluding note mentions the potential for re-evaluating older games, possibly with a 6-button pad, and the hope for some titles to be ported to the Sega CD, while acknowledging some software quality issues. This page continues the BeepMD Reader's Voice section from the previous page, showcasing more opinions and feedback from Mega Drive fans. Readers share their thoughts on various games and industry topics. There are comments discussing memorable commercials for Mega Drive games, building on a theme from the prior page. One reader laments that the Mega CD version of Phantasy Zone hasn't been released as just a straight port. Another reflects on Dragon Quest on the Famicom having better scenarios than graphics, contrasting it with the Mega Drive. There's a comment about Double Dungeon, a PC Engine RPG, noting it didn't sell well. Readers also express interest in seeing features on characters like Tails, and discuss games like All Shark and Sega CD Karaoke. The page includes reader-submitted illustrations featuring characters from All Shark, a step-by-step drawing guide for transforming Sonic the Hedgehog, and characters from Die Hard Arcade, Dynamite Deca. Overall, the section reflects the diverse interests and passion of the Mega Drive community, covering game experiences, hopes for future releases, and nostalgic memories. This page continues the BeepMD Mega Talk, featuring more voices from Mega Drive fans. Readers share a range of experiences, including a quiz about fantasy characters, thoughts on the vast number of possibilities in the Yume Mimi story, perhaps a branching narrative game, and comments on specific games like Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Super Monaco GP in the Amazing Game Gear section, with a reader hoping Sega recognizes the system's potential. A Junk Present section announces the winners of a Pharaoh-shaped pencil case giveaway. The Master It! Mega Driver segment focuses on an English Mega Drive magazine, Sega Force, commenting on its content, which seems to include reader art and possibly provocative topics compared to Japanese perspectives, like depictions of character abuse. Artwork includes Sonic and other cartoon characters. Finally, an article explores what can be learned from playing versus fighting games, suggesting they can teach valuable lessons about mindset and competitive spirit, illustrated with photos of martial arts poses. The overall page offers a snapshot of reader engagement, industry thoughts, and cultural commentary surrounding the Mega Drive scene. The next page continues the BeepMD section, focusing on what constitutes sensational scenes in games, moving on from the previous blushing scene theme. The main article uses Phantasy Star IV as an example, discussing how readers perceive different moments as sensational. Sections delve into specific aspects. One praises the evolving party music in a game, which becomes richer as more characters join, creating emotional impact beyond the plot. Another discusses story turning points, citing the marriage choice in Dragon Quest versus as a significant example. The third section highlights the impressive enemy monster designs in games, calling it an art revolution, with varied and sometimes bizarre creatures. The concluding thought reflects on understanding games through their graphics, music, and overall experience. The page also features a 4-panel comic strip titled Illusion and Miracle, starring M.D. Kuhn, which presents a surreal interaction possibly involving his father and a character representing the Sega 32X. Finally, there's a guide on how readers can contribute to various magazine sections, and an apology regarding an incorrect deadline for a giveaway mentioned in the previous issue, along with a price correction for a game, likely Fire Suplex. This page features the column, I Want to Make the Industry More Interesting, by Hiroyuki Takahashi. He discusses the demanding world of game development, particularly mentioning the intense pressure and busy schedule involved with completing Shining Force 2. Takahashi recounts interactions with staff and the challenge of meeting deadlines while striving for quality. He also comments on the market landscape, noting how Sega was previously somewhat overshadowed by the Super Nintendo, but is now gaining significant momentum with strong new titles. He expresses personal excitement for Sega's upcoming releases. The page also includes a large illustration titled, That's Wrong, Angry, from the Bisonen series, by reader Akira Kurihara, depicting an anime-style character with a note commenting on how even male characters can be cute. At the bottom, small photos show Hiroyuki Takahashi, noting his recent appointment as president and a sense of discomfort, and another photo hinting at a review with a scary posture. This page opens with the Taguchi's Maxim Dojo column, a light-hearted chat between characters discussing springtime and seemingly game-related topics, including a mention of a hard disk issue and a humorous comment about game prices. Scattered across the top are various reader submissions offering short, amusing insights or comments. The main feature is the Sonic Communications Mania Special, highlighting Shining Force 2, referred to by its Japanese title, Gaiden 2. It confirms the game is finished at Sonic Team and praises its intense story. An interesting tidbit is revealed about Natasha, the magic user from Shining Force 2, whose initial character design was inspired by actress Natasha Kinski, a suggestion attributed to Champ Takahashi, likely the same Hiroyuki Takahashi discussed on the previous page. The section concludes with a call for fan illustrations and letters, promising a commemorative gift for submissions, and mentions that the entire Sonic team is eagerly awaiting them, noting that Shining Force 2 is coming to Mega Drive. The bottom section showcases reader fan art, predominantly featuring characters from the Shining Force series, with several pieces specifically depicting characters from Shining Force 2, including Natasha. The page also includes Hanako Okada's Old Diary, a brief, humorous personal column discussing work life and soliciting reader contributions, albeit with a playful caveat about submissions for that specific column. This page kicks off a new serialization called Treasure Factory, diving into the world of Treasure, a company known for creating incredible games. The opening message comes directly from Treasure President Maekawa, welcoming readers and introducing their first Mega Drive title, the phenomenal Gunstar Heroes. He highlights the game's impressive graphics, exhilarating sound design, and intense action, promising a top-tier experience. The page includes a photo of President Maekawa and the development team, offering a glimpse behind the scenes. Another section, titled Gunstar Heroes Behind the Scenes, Introduction to Native Research, delves into the game's details, specifically focusing on the mysterious natives, Genjamin. It discusses their appearance and unfortunate situation within the game world, even providing a detailed diagram of the inside of a native's house. A screenshot shows these characters in action. There's also a mention of the pixel artist, Yuchi. A manga panel illustrates key features of Gunstar Heroes, pointing out its original, intense action, the impressive boss movements, the dynamic player actions, realistic backgrounds, thrilling sound, and striking visual direction, all emphasizing why the game is so highly regarded. This installment of the Treasure Factory feature delves into the world of game development. A highlight is Nazo Squared Suzuki's useful industry lecture on sound design, exploring the challenges of technical limitations, especially memory constraints on older systems like the Mega Drive, and the impact on sound quality. He also discusses various team structures and emphasizes the importance of game music. The page also includes the Kaigetsu Treasureman comic strip. Otaku's Den reviews the MSX game Love Tech 2, praising its character designs and humorous death animations. Lastly, Monaco's Backstage Pass offers a new perspective from a recent Treasure Team member, sharing her experiences, gaming passions, particularly Gunstar Heroes, and her journey into the game development world, playfully referring to the concept of a MyPad within a game. The page concludes with an editor's message and encourages reader feedback. This page kicks off a special corner where third-party developers get to speak freely. First up is Virgin Games, proudly stating their roots are in England. They introduce themselves as a new entrant to the Mega Drive scene in Japan and plan to deliver fun games. They highlight their connection to the wider Virgin Group, founded by the well-known adventurer Richard Branson, whose varied ventures include airlines and record stores. Virgin Games' first Mega Drive title for Japan is Cool Spot, based on the 7-Up mascot, and they promise more releases are on the way. Next, we hear from Vic Tokai under the banner Comedy Road Blazing Forward. They announce the return of their unpopular irregular manga, Shoots Things, which is featured right below. The comic itself is titled Episode 2 and features some humorous panels involving characters dealing with situations, including what looks like a gag about cedar pollen season in Japan. It seems like a light-hearted, ongoing comic feature. This page continues, the Special Entertainment's gag serious laughing amazing wonderful corner, this time featuring insights from Koei and Taito developers. Koei's segment includes a comedic manga strip about their upcoming Mega Drive title, Taiko Rishiden. The comic features historical figures in humorous situations related to the game's theme of rising to power as the Taiko. Following is Taito's section, discussing two of their games. One appears to be a ninja game, with a screenshot resembling the Ninja Warriors. Dialogue between developers suggests they are reviewing its progress, discussing characters and environments. The second game discussed is Night Striker for the Mega CD. The conversation highlights the development process, including rigorous quality checks led by a developer referred to as Barbara, and touches upon features like simultaneous two-player support. The overall tone is lighthearted, giving a glimpse into the development chats. This page presents a mail-order catalog from a specialty store named Santa, focusing entirely on Sega products, with all prices listed, including tax. It offers a comprehensive lineup for the Mega Drive, Game Gear, and Mega CD. The main feature is the extensive software list, presented as the Mega Drive software lineup, showing a wide variety of titles available for purchase with their prices. A notable section is Santa's Recommendations, featuring special package deals where customers can buy multiple games at discounted bundle prices across several tiers. There's also a dedicated new releases corner, highlighting recent and upcoming titles with their prices and tentative release dates. The page also lists various hardware and peripherals, such as the Mega Drive console itself, Game Gear consoles, and accessories like control pads, cables, and the Mega CD unit. Ordering instructions, including details on shipping costs and methods like mail, phone, and fax, are provided, along with information about their membership system. Overall, it's a straightforward sales catalog, offering a vast selection of Sega titles and hardware via mail order. This page is a supplement from the June issue of BeepMD magazine, focusing on the incredibly popular arcade game Street Fighter II Champion Edition, known as Street Fighter II - in Japan. The main image features striking artwork of Ryu, preparing to fight with the intimidating visage of M. Bison Vega behind him, consistent with the arcade game's promotional art. The page announces a complete guide round 1 and a character file, indicating this is the beginning of a detailed breakdown of the game. Text next to the M. Bison art confirms it's Street Fighter II - lists Capcom as the developer, and notes that the release date, price, and capacity are all undecided. This strongly suggests the guide is covering the existing arcade hit, not an announced Mega Drive port, which makes sense given the game's massive popularity at the time. The bottom of the page features atmospheric silhouettes of several fighters against a cloudy backdrop, hinting at the character profiles to come. It's a clear effort by the Mega Drive magazine to capitalize on the arcade phenomenon, even if the game wasn't on their platform yet. This page announces the long-awaited arrival of the smash hit arcade game, Street Fighter II Champion Edition, on the Mega Drive. Building on the incredible worldwide success of the Super Famicom version, which became a social phenomenon, anticipation for this Mega Drive port is soaring. The excitement isn't limited to Japan. International partner magazines are equally thrilled. America's Megaplay has already previewed an early build, giving it a high score of 9 out of 10 and extensive coverage. The editor of France's Megaforce even declares the hype for Champion Edition exceeds that of Sonic 2's massive launch. This global buzz suggests the Mega Drive version is set to be a worldwide hit. This issue dives deep into the game, promising detailed guides for characters like Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, Zangief, Guile, Dhalsim, Balrog, Boxer, Vega, Claw, Sagat, and M. Bison Dictator on the following pages. This page delves into the history and various incarnations of Street Fighter II, positioning it as the king of games. It traces the series' phenomenal success in arcades, highlighting the evolution from the original Street Fighter II to Champion Edition and Hyper Fighting, noting the introduction of features like character-same matchups and turbo speed that kept it a massive hit. The page includes a look back at the beginning of glory with the original 1987 Street Fighter, showing its instruction card and mentioning the initial fighters Ryu and Ken. It then presents instruction cards featuring the original 8 characters and the 4 bosses, Balrog the Boxer, Vega the Claw, Sagat, and M. Bison the Dictator, from the arcade versions, detailing some basic moves. The Converted Games section reviews previous home ports. The Super Nintendo version, released the prior year, is praised as an excellent conversion that ignited a massive fighting game boom. Other ports are briefly mentioned, such as the Amiga version, noted for its visual appeal despite potentially stiff movement, and the upcoming PC Engine, TurboGrafx 16 version, titled Street Fighter II - set for release in June. Screenshots from these ports are shown. Finally, the page prominently features the upcoming Mega Drive release under the heading and then to MegaDrive. It displays screenshots of the MegaDrive version's player select screen, including the world map, and gameplay screenshots, building anticipation for this highly awaited conversion. This page dives deeper into the upcoming MegaDrive port of Street Fighter II-. The biggest news, highlighted right away, is the expanded roster. Forget the original 8 fighters. The character count jumps to a whopping 12, finally letting players control the legendary 4 Heavenly Kings. That's right, you can now unleash the power of Balrog, Sagat, and Shrum Bison, and execute their devastating special moves like Psycho Crusher yourself. It's what everyone who played the original wished they could do, and the page shows off these fearsome bosses. Beyond the playable bosses, another crucial feature is the ability to have same character battles. Ever wanted to see which Guile is truly superior, or pit Chun-Li against herself? Now you can. This includes clashes between the bosses too. The page points out that this lets players truly measure their skill head-to-head when using identical characters, even showing examples like Black Ryu, Black Ken, and Metal Dalsim, suggesting the inclusion of alternate colors to distinguish players. Screenshots illustrate these exciting same-character showdowns, including AM Bison vs. AM Bison fight, showcasing their different colors. The MegaDrive version of Street Fighter II- strives for arcade accuracy, focusing on technical and gameplay improvements. A key feature is support for Sega's new 6-button controller, designed to replicate the arcade experience, while also remaining playable with the standard 3-button pad. Graphically, the port aims to surpass the Super Famicom version by restoring cut animations like Guile's spinning graphic. Gameplay is being rebalanced to eliminate unfair tactics and introduce new moves. The AI will also be enhanced. The game includes the Car Smash and Drum Smash bonus stages, aiming for a complete port of the arcade experience. This page jumps into the foundational skills needed to master Street Fighter II Champion Edition on the MegaDrive. It immediately highlights the importance of getting familiar with the controls, particularly the Sega Fighting Pad 6B, noting how its 6 buttons make executing complex moves like the Shoryuken much easier compared to the old 3-button pad. It stresses that the quick step or dash move is essential. The guide then breaks down the core combat techniques. Strikes are explained, detailing the differences between light, medium, and heavy attacks, shown through Chun-Li's various kicks. It also points out that attack properties can change depending on the distance to the opponent, illustrated with screenshots. Sweep attacks are presented as crucial for knocking opponents down and dictating the flow of the match, showing examples like Ryu and E Honda. Jump-in attacks are described as the basis of the rushdown strategy, particularly useful after a knockdown, but beware of reversals. Finally, throws are covered as high-damage options to land when up close, encouraging players to mix them in with feints, featuring screenshots of fighters like Zangief and Chun-Li performing grabs, including air throws. This page is all about building that fundamental muscle memory and understanding the basic tools at your disposal. This guide to Street Fighter II Champion Edition focuses on core gameplay elements. The MegaDrive version, offers versus battle mode for competitive play and a 1P mode for survival. Mastering special moves is key, classified as command input, directional, and charge input, holding directions. Combos, particularly cancel moves, performing a special immediately after a normal attack, are critical for maximizing damage. Basic hit chains are also discussed. Defensively, the guide emphasizes high and low blocking. While blocking normal attacks prevents damage, special moves can inflict chip damage. Finally, the guide covers the stun mechanic, Kizetsu. Receiving too many strong hits results in a dazed state, leaving the character vulnerable. The guide offers key knowledge for players to improve their game. This page dives into the 2 iconic protagonists of Street Fighter II-, Ryu and Ken, highlighting their role as the standard characters for players to master. It touches upon their background story. Having trained together under the same master in Japan, the page emphasizes that while they were identical in the original game, the versus battle mode in Dash introduces subtle differences in their abilities, making it crucial for players to understand these distinctions to excel in competitive play. It showcases their signature special moves, the Hadoken, Shoryuken, and Tatsumaki Senpukyaku, Hurricane Kick. The guide provides the command inputs for these moves, explaining how variations in button strength affect aspects like speed or distance. It also details some of their basic throws and grapples, like Ryu's Seiwai Naj, shoulder throw, and Tomoe Naj, circle throw, and Ken's Jigoku Guruma, hell wheel. A specific section focuses on changes in the Dash version, noting improvements to Ryu's Hadoken speed and Hurricane Kick properties, and Ken's Shoryuken range and faster Hurricane Kick. Finally, it offers strategic tips for playing as Ryu and Ken, suggesting Ryu relies on projectile zoning and consistent special moves, while Ken focuses on close-range rushdown tactics, particularly his powerful Shoryuken and throws. The bottom includes a small memo suggesting that mastering the Shoryuken command was made easier with the new pad. This page continues the focus on Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter II Dash, delving deeper into their fundamental strategies and advanced techniques. It highlights Ryu's classic approach of controlling space with the Hadoken and punishing airborne opponents with the Shoryuken, detailing this as the core birdcage strategy. The guide then presents crucial techniques like the jab uppercut Shoryuken, a useful cancel technique, the invincible wake-up Shoryuken for getting off the ground safely, and effective cross-up attacks. More advanced Dash-exclusive combo strategies are shown, including sequences starting with jumping attacks that lead into signature special moves like the Shoryuken or Hadoken. A comprehensive table visually demonstrates and describes Ryu and Ken's basic attacks across different stances: standing, crouching, jumping, and button strengths: light, medium, heavy punch, and kick. This provides players with a detailed breakdown of their normal moves' properties. Finally, a small note touches upon the game's controls and differences between the arcade and console versions, mentioning the impact of the controller pad on executing moves like the Shoryuken. This page offers essential information for mastering the basics and moving into more technical play with the game's iconic duo. This page shifts focus to E. Honda, the Japanese sumo wrestler character in Street Fighter II, highlighting his incredible destructive power. The analysis describes him as a character with low popularity due to his slow movement, but compensates with potent attacks like the Super Headbutt, which is noted as a key move capable of breaking through defenses and dealing heavy damage. The guide details his signature special moves, including the 100 hand slap, which can be executed rapidly and even while moving, making it effective for pressuring opponents. It also covers the Super Headbutt, explaining its charge input and properties like guaranteed knockdown. Beyond the specials, command and normal moves like the Sabaki Ori, Tawara Nage, Sekangeri, and Hizageri are shown with screenshots, demonstrating his close-range grappling and striking options. Strategic tips are provided, suggesting players use his headbutt and sweeps to push opponents into the corner, then follow up with attacks like the 100 hand slap after a knockdown to quickly drain health. Finally, a note addresses the MegaDrive version specifically, mentioning an issue with the flying sumo press that is expected to be fixed in the final release, encouraging players to anticipate the improved versions. This page positions Honda as a character focused on overwhelming offense and raw power, particularly effective at close range and in the corner. This page continues the dive into East Honda in Street Fighter II, emphasizing his raw power and focus on close-range combat. It positions him as a character similar to Zangief and M. Bison, who thrive when able to get close and unleash their devastating attacks, particularly noting his weakness against projectiles from a distance. Key techniques highlighted include the wake-up Super Headbutt, detailing its crucial invincibility frames upon startup, which can punish opponents trying to pressure him as he gets up. Combo techniques are also showcased, such as a tricky cross-up starting with a jump medium kick, and a powerful four-step sequence beginning with a jumping heavy punch, leading into his signature 100 hand slap. The page includes a detailed breakdown of his normal moves from various stances and attack strengths, along with his special moves like the 100 hand slap and Super Headbutt, and his throws like Sabaki or Sari. A small note at the bottom points out that the international versions of Street Fighter II feature different names for the four kings, M, Bison, Balrog, and Vega, compared to the Japanese release. This page features Chun-Li, the popular female fighter from China, highlighting her speed-based fighting style and recommended use of throws to exploit opponent openings. Her background is tied to investigating Shadaloo to avenge her father's disappearance, a former narcotics officer skilled in martial arts. In Champion Edition, key changes include the addition of new techniques like the crane kick and rear spinning kick. While her lightning legs became faster upon startup, it was still considered less effective, and the range of her throws was shortened, weakening her overall. Tips for using Chun-Li suggest that despite her appearance, her strength lies in ground combat using medium kicks and throws, although the reduced throw range in Champion Edition makes her seem powered down. Mastering throws and combo attacks is recommended. Her special moves shown include the spinning bird kick, a charge input move with invincibility during ascent, descent, and the lightning legs, rapid kick presses. Larger techniques or big techniques added in Champion Edition include the hawk kick, tiger spin, dragon fall, crane kick, and rear spinning kick, each with specific jump or direction, plus kick inputs. The note at the bottom confirms that the international versions of Champion Edition also have different move names, similar to the character name changes mentioned previously. This page is a comprehensive guide to playing as Chun-Li in Street Fighter II. It highlights her fighting style centered around speed and flowing footwork, explaining how she compensates for lower power by harassing opponents, looking for openings, and utilizing throws. The guide details essential techniques players should master, such as the back leg sweep and throw reversal. It also breaks down her combo techniques, including the well-known Chun-Li's 3-hit combo and the 100 lightning kicks 3-hit combo, with accompanying screenshots showing the sequences. Additionally, the page provides a detailed breakdown of all her standard attacks, punches and kicks from standing, crouching, and jumping stances, covering various ranges. A one-point memo notes that the Mega Drive version accurately represents Chun-Li's arcade moveset. This page features a deep dive into Blanka from Street Fighter II. It introduces him as a character who leverages his superhuman speed and physique. The profile box provides his basic stats. Born February 12, 1966, height 192 centimeters, weight 98 kilograms, BWH 198, 120-170 seconds, blood type B. He likes Samansa and Perukus. Dislikes soldier ants. The text highlights Blanka's moves, particularly the improved rolling attack in this dash version of the game, making it more user-friendly and removing the counter damage weakness. Electric Thunder is also mentioned as being easier to use. The article emphasizes the practicality of his special moves, like Electric Thunder, and the continuous rolling attack, recommending frequent use. It details the rolling attack's different ranges based on button strength, and shows screenshots of the small, medium, and large versions. Other notable moves covered are Rock Crush and Wild Fang, illustrating his grappling and bite attacks. The section What Changed in Dash reiterates the removal of rolling attack counter damage and the ease of executing Electric Thunder. The Points for Using Blanka section advises players to use his speed to exploit opponent openings, noting his fundamental strategy and throws remain similar to the previous game. His strong special moves are key, encouraging players to stay ready to use the rolling attack and not forget the Electric Thunder as a surprise tactic. A small memo at the bottom notes that the move inputs shown are for when the character is facing right. This page features a comprehensive guide to playing as Blanka in Street Fighter II Champion Edition, highlighting his ferocity and unique fighting style. The article emphasizes learning powerful counter techniques and leveraging Blanka's natural strengths. It notes that while his special moves like the rolling attack and Electric Thunder are user-friendly in this version, his strong basic attacks and exceptional ground reach are also crucial. Blanka excels at controlling distance and punishing opponents from afar. The guide also stresses the importance of varying attack patterns to avoid predictability. Key techniques covered include a combo starting with a small or medium rolling attack followed by a bite, and a powerful rolling thunder sequence involving a bite that stuns the opponent, allowing time to charge for an Electric Thunder or rolling attack. A simple 3-hit combo is also detailed as an easy-to-execute attack string. The page includes a visual breakdown of Blanka's standard moves, illustrating attacks from various stances and jumps like the Beast Chop, Wild Dance, Snake Upper, and Beast Tail, providing a complete overview of his offensive options. A small memo lists the special moves available for various characters in this Champion Edition, confirming their presence. Overall, the guide positions Blanka as a potent character who utilizes his speed and savage techniques effectively. This page is dedicated to the character Zangief, the Red Cyclone, a powerful wrestler from the Soviet Union, in Street Fighter II Champion Edition. It highlights his immense strength and signature moves. His character profile notes his impressive physique and background as a wrestler known for his 7-color throws. In Champion Edition, the double lariat is improved, now usable from a crouching state, and allowing movement while spinning, making it more versatile. The headbutt is also strong, but the screw piledriver is noted as being more difficult to execute. The guide emphasizes that despite his slow movement and lack of projectiles, Zangief's screw piledriver is devastating and can win matches if landed. The key strategy is getting close enough to the opponent to execute command throws, with the screw piledriver being the primary goal. Using strong basic attacks like foot sweeps is also recommended to approach the opponent. The special moves section details Zangief's arsenal, including the iconic screw piledriver, the double lariat, and various throws like the Siberian suplex and German suplex. It also covers his flying body attack, headbutt, and other close-range attacks like the bite and iron claw/stomach claw. The page explains the inputs for these moves, noting the directional inputs and punch/kick button combinations. The guide stresses that mastering the screw piledriver is essential to truly understand Zangief's potential, though it requires dedication to practice the command input. This page delves deeper into mastering Zangief in Street Fighter II Champion Edition, focusing on his powerful close-range game and signature moves. Titled, "Do Anything to Pull Them In," it emphasizes that Zangief's strength lies in getting close to his opponent, despite his slow movement and difficulty dealing with projectiles. The key to Zangief's success is the screw piledriver, and the page highlights essential techniques for executing it, including variations from a middle sweep, standing position, and crouching medium punch. It also details consecutive techniques like the screw 3-hit combo, typically starting with a body press followed by a crouching kick and then the screw piledriver, and a variation called Zangief New 3-hit, using a light punch before the screw. A comprehensive table lists Zangief's various standing, crouching, and jumping attacks using different punch and kick strengths. It provides commentary on the utility of moves like the Russian hammer punch, Siberian suplex, and aerial attacks, guiding players on when and how to use them effectively to close distance or punish opponents. The ultimate goal remains to get close enough to land a devastating command throw. A small hint memo mentions the overseas version's Shoryuken being called Shoryuken, referencing Ryu and Ken, which is a general note about the game. This Street Fighter II Champion Edition page analyzes Guile, the American representative. While his damage output and special move recovery times are slightly reduced, making him feel less powerful than in the original game, Guile retains strong potential. His backstory focuses on his quest for revenge against the organization that killed his friend Nash. Guile's fighting style is described as cool and precise, transitioning into a killing machine during combat. Key moves, including Sonic Boom, Somersault Kick, and several command throws, are detailed. Despite minor weaknesses like brief vulnerability after charged specials, Guile remains a formidable character. This page provides a guide to mastering Guile in Street Fighter II, focusing on building an ironclad defense. It reiterates his core strategy of controlling space with sonic booms from afar, using sweeps at mid-range, and relying on the somersault kick up close, emphasizing the importance of always charging special moves while crouching. The page highlights essential techniques like the rising somersault kick for defense against jump-ins, and using weak sonic booms to chase opponents. It also details combo techniques, such as the somersault 3-hit combo starting with a jump-heavy punch, and a more advanced sonic backfist 4-hit combo. The page includes a visual breakdown of Guile's various normal punches and kicks from different stances and jumps. Finally, a small trivia note mentions character relationships, including a setting detail about Ken and Guile being like brothers, and other minor character facts. This page features a character guide for Dhalsim in Street Fighter II, highlighting his unique ability to stretch his limbs and breathe fire. The guide emphasizes his mastery of yoga and his long-range zoning style, noting that while he's known for keeping opponents at bay, his close-range game has been improved in this version. Key points highlighted are the introduction of his drill attack and drill headbutt, making him more aggressive. His yoga flame is also noted to deal significant damage, comparable to a throw. The guide provides tactical advice, emphasizing the importance of countering opponents who jump in, and effectively using his short sliding move in combat. It visually breaks down the different distances covered by his weak, medium, and strong sliding attacks. Detailed sections cover his special moves, including Yoga Teleport, Yoga Smash, Yoga Fire, Yoga Flame, Drill Headbutt, and Drill Kick, with corresponding screenshots showing the attacks in action. A character profile provides his vital statistics, while a small memo gives a brief tip or detail. Overall, the page positions Dhalsim as a powerful character with a unique playstyle that rewards players who master his techniques, especially the improved mobility and offensive options in this version. This page delves deeper into Dhalsim's advanced techniques in Street Fighter II, focusing on an offensive style that counters opponents who try to rush him down. It highlights the improved drill kick and drill headbutt as key tools for pressuring opponents and forcing defensive choices. The guide details essential tactics like setting up throws using Yoga Flame and a short slide, as well as looping yoga smashes to punish jumping attacks. Several combo opportunities are presented, including a 3-hit sequence starting with a slide into a close heavy punch, and a new 3-hit combo using a slide followed by a crouching medium kick, specifically effective against jump-ins. A large section provides a visual breakdown of all of Dhalsim's normal moves, illustrating their range and effect from different stances. A quick tip notes a specific dash color option available on the character select screen and confirms the guide is based on the arcade version. This page is dedicated to the boxer Balrog in Street Fighter II, Special Champion Edition. It describes him as one of the 4 heavenly kings, who, despite sometimes being underestimated, possesses incredible rushdown power. His backstory is touched upon, highlighting his journey from a dangerous boxer blackballed from the sport to a street fighter in the Las Vegas casinos. His catchphrase is "Final." The focus shifts to his signature moves, including the devastating charging punches like the dash straight, called turn punch here, which, when fully charged into the final dash straight, final turn punch, can significantly damage an opponent. The challenge for players is charging these moves without being noticed. His speed is also mentioned as a factor opponents must be wary of. The guide also recommends the headbutt, head bomber, for its wide hit area and combo potential. Character data provides his birth date, September 4, 1968, height, 198 centimeters, weight, 102 kilograms, measurements, blood type, and reveals his likes, women, bourbon, and dislikes, fish, arithmetic, effort. A section on Balrog, as a CPU opponent, notes he's considered one of the easier bosses if his pattern is understood, particularly his rush attacks, with the dash uppercut here. A small memo at the bottom mentions fighting game slang like Pyoru, being stunned, originating in game centers. The page features screenshots demonstrating his key special moves. This page delves deeper into the fighting strategy for Balrog in Street Fighter II, Special Champion Edition, emphasizing his powerful rushdown tactics. The guide highlights his core approach, which involves overwhelming opponents using a mix of fast jabs, long-reaching straights, and devastating special moves. Reading the opponent's movements and timing your rush is crucial. Key techniques covered include mastering the charge timing for his signature dash straight, and effectively utilizing the 2-hit dash uppercut, noting that keeping special moves charged is essential for readiness. The page also details continuous techniques or combos, showcasing examples like the Balrog 3-hit and a more complex Balrog 5-hit combo, demonstrating how to chain various normal attacks into special moves for maximum damage. Furthermore, a table provides a breakdown of Balrog's standard punches and kicks across standing, crouching, and jumping stances, offering insights into which normal attacks are best suited for different situations, such as maintaining pressure, anti-air defense with moves like the Buffalo Uppercut, or setting up combos. Screenshots and diagrams throughout the page illustrate the discussed techniques and combos, providing visual guidance for players. This page focuses on Vega, known as Balrog in the Japanese version, the Spanish representative in Street Fighter II. It highlights his incredible speed, emphasizing his unique claw attacks and throws. Described as one of the 4 Kings characters with distinct quirks, Vega is a master of ninjutsu and possesses a dual nature of strength and fragility. He is portrayed as a narcissist, obsessed with beauty, believing that ugliness should not exist. He constantly hides his face with a mask as a fighter, only showing his true face, said to hold a terrifying beauty, when he achieves a particularly cruel victory. The article notes his core strategy revolves around hit-and-away tactics, combined with flashy aerial attacks. For single player against the computer, mastering the Azuna drop is presented as a key to victory against most characters. The page also details his signature special moves, including the Rainbow Suplex, Stardust Drop, Backslash, Wall Jump, Flying Barcelona Attack, Flying Izuna Drop, and Rolling Crystal Flash, illustrating their inputs and effects with screenshots. Mastering Vega's unique high-speed combat style, especially his ability to quickly maneuver behind jumping opponents for throws, is highly recommended. This page dives deep into the strategies and techniques of Vega in Street Fighter II, highlighting his gorgeous and cruel, claw-based fighting style. It emphasizes that while his individual claw attacks might have less damage, their long reach makes them excellent for chipping away at an opponent's health, best combined with throws and the Rolling Crystal Flash for effective offense. The page details essential aerial tactics, including the Flying Barcelona attack, explaining how to use it from different angles, Cross Barcelona, and mentioning the Izuna drop as a strong follow-up. A variation, Turn Barcelona, is noted for its difficulty to counter. Visual step-by-steps illustrate the motion for these aerial approaches. Key combo sequences are presented, such as the Balrog 3-hit, involving a jumping heavy kick followed by crouching attacks, and the rolling 6-hit, which chains a crouching light punch into a cancelled rolling crystal flash, and a final crouching medium punch, noted for its effectiveness against opponents like Ryu, Ken, and Guile. Screenshots show the execution of these combos. The page also points out the disadvantage Vega faces if his claw breaks during battle. Finally, the page provides a detailed breakdown of Vega's standard attacks, covering all punches and kicks while standing, crouching, and jumping, giving names and brief descriptions for each move's utility in different situations, offering a comprehensive look at his basic toolkit. This page provides a character file focusing on Sagat in Street Fighter II. It highlights his return, marked by the scar he received from Ryu, which has fueled his dedication to relentless training to defeat his rival and reclaim his title. Sagat is introduced as the Thai representative, and a fighter who has mastered the Thai-style Rising Dragon Fist. The content describes Sagat as a character favored by expert players due to his versatile fighting style, effective at both close and long range, similar to Ryu or Guile, but requiring considerable skill to fully utilize. While his basic moves might seem few, their power is among the highest in the game. The page details his signature special moves: the Tiger Uppercut, a powerful anti-air attack; the Tiger Shot, a projectile attack; and the Ground Tiger Shot, a low projectile. It also introduces his more advanced techniques, including his super combo, Tiger Crush, known internationally as Tiger Genocide, a multi-hit kick attack, and his unique throw, Tiger Carry. The page also mentions Sagat's history as the final boss in the original Street Fighter, and notes that in Street Fighter II, he gained the Tiger Uppercut and Ground Tiger Shot, making him a formidable contender for the top spot once mastered. This page focuses on Sagat's fighting strategy and moves in Street Fighter II, building on the previous page's introduction. It emphasizes that Sagat's basic fighting style is similar to Ryu and Ken, making him effective at cornering opponents with projectile attacks like the Tiger Shot. The article notes that the Ground Tiger Shot is particularly effective for low hits. Key techniques are highlighted, including the Tiger Uppercut, described as having invincibility frames on startup, making it a potent anti-air and reversal. It also details the Tiger Shot Uppercut, a move where a standing light kick is cancelled into the Tiger Uppercut. Sagat's unique birdcage strategy, using Tiger Shots to trap opponents, is mentioned as being even stronger than Ryu and Ken's Fireball Trap due to the speed and hit priority. Another technique described is cancelling a crouching light kick into a Ground Tiger Shot. The page then covers Sagat's combination techniques, including the Tiger 3-hit, likely referring to the Tiger Crush special, and the Crush 4-hit, suggesting the Tiger Genocide super combo, noting their power when successfully landed. A table briefly showcases Sagat's standard standing, crouching, and jumping normal attacks. Overall, the page positions Sagat as a character with immense potential, requiring skilled execution to unleash his full power. This page details Sagat's powerful techniques and strategies in Street Fighter II, focusing on projectiles, anti-airs, and devastating combos. This page dives into the fearsome leader of Shadaloo and final boss, M. Bison. Described as the Emperor of Evil, the content emphasizes his overwhelming power, stating he surpasses other characters in reach, destructive power, and combo ability. Playing as him means demonstrating this absolute dominance. The article highlights M. Bison's unique psycho power, integrated into his combat style. Despite a note about a potentially fragile side, his top position is deemed unshakable, especially in versions like Street Fighter II Champion Edition, referred to as Dash. His strengths include excellent basic moves with long reach, particularly kicks, surprising walk speed, and potent throws. The text notes that in CPU matches, simply repeating the Psycho Crusher can be effective. His signature special moves, like the Psycho Crusher, double knee press, and head press, are featured with screenshots, along with his standard throw and the somersault skull diver. A memo at the bottom confirms the Sega Mega Drive version retains much of the arcade's power, and even mentions the notorious Ham Psycho strategy being possible. M. Bison is presented as a character with immense potential for players seeking victory. This page continues the discussion on the feared M. Bison, focusing on mastering his power and essential techniques. It emphasizes the fundamental requirement of the diagonal charge for his special moves, encouraging players to make it a natural habit. The double knee press is highlighted as a cornerstone technique, powerful enough on its own to shut down opponents' movements, making it the first move Bison players should master. The page also details continuous attack sequences, showcasing examples like the Vega 3-hit and a more advanced double knee 6-hit combo, illustrating how his special moves can be integrated into devastating offense. A comprehensive table breaks down Bison's standard moves, covering standing, crouching, vertical jump, and diagonal jump attacks for each button strength. Each entry features a screenshot demonstrating the move and a brief description of its utility, such as range, speed, or typical use cases like anti-air or pressure. This section provides a visual and practical guide to Bison's basic toolkit. The overall message is clear. Mastering charge techniques and utilizing the double knee press are key to unleashing Bison's dominant power. This page shifts focus from the gameplay mechanics we were just discussing to showcase the explosive popularity of Street Fighter II through a comprehensive goods catalog. It highlights how the world of Street Fighter II expanded beyond the arcade, with fans eager to collect various merchandises. Different companies offered a wide array of items, from novelty goods like posters, clear files, and telephone cards featuring iconic characters, to detailed collectible figures in various scales, including popular characters like Chun-Li and character sets. There are also puzzles, card games, and even music creds available, demonstrating the game's reach into multiple media. This catalog clearly illustrates the massive cultural impact Street Fighter II had, creating a thriving market for goods that allowed fans to bring a piece of the fighting world home. This page continues the deep dive into the massive Street Fighter II merchandise boom. It showcases even more collectibles and media available for fans. Bandai presents a variety of toys, including character keychains, a mini board game in a tin case, a sound key holder, character patches, and detailed figures like Ryu. Pony Canyon focuses on the audiovisual side, listing various Street Fighter II releases on CD, VHS, and Laserdisc, including image albums, soundtracks, and even a specific track theme for Ryu. Musashia offers detailed garage kits, collectible resin models, of characters in dynamic poses, such as Chun-Li performing her spinning bird kick and 100 lightning kicks, Balrog, Vega in Japan, and E-Honda. Capcom itself contributes to the merchandise, with a collection of adorable plush toys featuring the full cast of Street Fighter II characters, intended for crane games. Finally, Sunwise features Street Fighter II trading cards. The page emphasizes the wide range of items available, allowing fans to celebrate Street Fighter II in numerous ways beyond playing the game. This page showcases a powerful and atmospheric promotional image for the iconic fighting game, Street Fighter II. The dramatic backdrop features a stormy sky with intense lightning strikes and dark clouds, setting a serious and competitive tone. Across the image, bold red text declares, "No fight, no champ," a phrase that perfectly encapsulates the core philosophy of the game and the path to victory. Faint outlines of characters, appearing to be the legendary fighters Ryu and Ken, are silhouetted against the stormy sky. The unmistakable Street Fighter II logo is clearly visible, grounding the scene. This page serves as a striking visual piece, likely introducing a feature on the game, or used as part of a promotional campaign, effectively conveying the challenge and excitement of the World Warrior Tournament. This page features Konami's regular column, Konami's Room, Konami Sis's Wandering Journal, along with other sections. The main topic in Konami's Room involves Konami Sessis and Sparkster, discussing the arrival of a sample room for Rocket Knight Adventures, a highly anticipated game. Another significant section details the chaotic but ultimately successful preparation for the Tokyo Toy Show, handled by Ramble Tamura. This part highlights the challenges and unexpected events encountered while setting up the Konami booth, including amusing mishaps like a misplaced signboard, but ultimately focusing on the dedication required to present a spectacular show. The Advice Corner, hosted by Hayasaka Sis, includes reader letters. One reader expresses nostalgia for Konami's MSX titles, like Castlevania II, Simon's Quest, and Ganbare Goemon, noting Konami's shift away from MSX towards the Mega Drive. There's a comment on disappointment with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but strong anticipation for Rocket Knight Adventures. Another reader challenges Konami to create a game that surpasses the intensity of Thunder Force IV. The column also confirms the start of development on an arcade port. Finally, the page introduces this month's Konami gal, Machiko Kikuchi, From the Consumer Sales Department, with a brief personal profile. This page features the Sega Falcom communication column, highlighting the highly anticipated action RPG, Popful Mail. The page displays the game's vibrant title logo, featuring the protagonists Mail and Tat, with Mail's characteristic declaration, "Money First Heart." The article confirms Popful Mail's release is imminent, notably arriving before Sister Sonic, addressing the strong demand from users. It compares the new Mega CD version to the original PC release and promises to introduce the three main characters. A section titled Hero Descends delves into the game's ancient backstory, recounting tales of heroes, formidable emperors, and epic battles. Another prominent section focuses on the protagonist, Mail, an elf described as reckless but deeply motivated by wealth, detailing her personality and love for money. Character sketches of Mail are included, showing different expressions and poses. A small screenshot displays what appears to be a shop interface, accompanied by text reinforcing Mail's mercenary attitude. The page also includes concept art for the Mega CD version of Mail, noting that the character designs appear slightly more mature. This page continues the Sega Falcom hotline and delves further into Popful Mail, introducing the two main supporting characters. First is Tat, the wizard's apprentice, a skilled and diligent youth whose talents are said to rival his master's. He's depicted as mild-mannered, but capable of surprisingly intense reactions. Next is Gao, a monster who resides in a cave. Despite his monstrous appearance, Gao is generally mild-tempered and tends to end his sentences with a distinctive Gao sound, except when he's hungry. The column also addresses user feedback regarding Popful Mail's release, confirming that Sega Falcom heard the calls to keep the name Popful Mail and release it as is, rather than rebranding it as Sister Sonic. They assure fans that the game, while incorporating feedback, will remain true to itself and become a beloved title for all players. The page also includes a column from director Yano discussing Sega's Virtual Lock-On Shot, a survival game using a light gun and a VR headset accessory shown in a photo. Demos were planned for events like the Tokyo Toy Show and Summer Seises. This page serves as an entrance guide to the vast and unique world of Hirai Academy, announcing its impending arrival on the Mega CD as an RPG. The article takes us on a preliminary visit to this extraordinary institution. We learn Hirai Academy is situated on the immense Utsuho Island, which floats in the Southern Sea, detached from the mainland. The scale is immense, boasting a student body of 100,000, comparable to a small city. Daily life sounds anything but ordinary, with all 100,000 students commuting from their dorms to the main building each morning, creating absolute chaos on the island's student-run railway and the perpetually packed streetcar loop line, which an illustration vividly depicts. The school dining hall street is another hub of activity, known for its cheap and tasty food despite the short lunch breaks. Excitingly, the developers, Uentai, are inviting players to contribute to the game's creation by submitting episode ideas for the Mega CD RPG. They even encourage using real-life school experiences as inspiration, offering a humorous example about a high school built on a moat where the building was tilted and balls would roll downhill. A side panel explains Uentai's background as creators of large-scale, story-focused games, starting with net games like Play by Mail and expanding into Tabletop RPGs, now bringing their expertise to the Hirai Academy project. The page is punctuated by illustrations depicting the chaotic, lively atmosphere of the school. This page features an extra edition of Climax Entertainment's Ecstasy Kingdom series, Act 11, chronicling a dangerous tour by key staff, including Hiroshi Naito, to Osaka. The trip centered around a public recording for a radio and television game program. The recording itself went off without a hitch. However, the real adventure began after dark, as the team ventured out into Osaka's nightlife. The report details a raucous night involving plenty of drinking, which led to one member, Mochi, transforming into a Mechagodzilla state after just an hour. This state involved unusual culinary experiences, like eating something called First Experience, and lively karaoke sessions described with humorous detail, including a quiz asking what Hiroshi Naito himself was singing. The lower section provides a closer look at the public recording event, showcasing the large crowd that turned up, the atmosphere backstage, the successful live broadcast, and the wrap-up party. The overall tone is lighthearted and portrays the Climax team's trip as a boisterous, memorable experience. A small note at the bottom explains, this segment became an extra edition due to scheduling conflicts, with a planned new corner to start in the next issue. This page is an edition of the Nokone Shinbun, compiles internal newsletter. The major headline announces the decision to develop Sorcery Saga for the Game Gear, confirming previous rumors. The article includes a Q&A with developer Mr. K, who explains the Game Gear version distills the essence of the original while adapting it for the platform, featuring a completely different story structure using the 123 motif. A key highlight is the confirmation that the game will be a talking, singing, 3D RPG, making it the first Game Gear title with significant voice acting. While character sprites will be smaller, expressions and dialogue will convey the protagonist's state, and the game will include a fuzzy parameter system and auto-mapping for dungeons. The game is scheduled for a November release. A small comic strip section features humorous commentary on finding books and art styles. The bottom section announces the results of the Puyo Puyokin Sutatsusen contest, thanking participants and listing all their names. It notes that one participant from Kyoto achieved a 6th Dan rank in Puyo Puyo. Finally, there is a notice inviting readers to send postcards with their opinions and ideas for the newsletter. This page features a column by the writer known as Jam Ojizan, titled Jam Ojizan's Enthusiastic Serial, with calligraphy that loosely translates to something like, better than a turtle shell, implying wisdom or slow but steady progress. Jam Ojizan discusses the transition to the 32-bit machine era, reflecting on whether it can replicate the impact seen when moving from 8-bit to 16-bit systems. He emphasizes that while hardware performance improves, software quality must advance even further for true impact. He highlights the importance of Sega focusing on the Genesis/Mega Drive in the meantime, stressing the need to expand incentives for third-party developers and build a stable software development system with quality software houses. He uses examples like Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy V, and Sonic the Hedgehog to illustrate market impact through strong software. The page also displays the Mega CD2, Sega CD2 hardware, showing its compact design and how it connects to the console. There is also a section inviting readers to submit questions. This page features a column titled Eric's Gambling Habit by Eric C. Sedensky, subtitled X.12 Sega. Make the gambler's dream come true. The main title illustration shows a nail being hammered, symbolizing being hooked on games, accompanied by the words, Game Experience Log. Sedensky expresses disappointment with the recent lack of exciting new game releases, which has led him to buy fewer cartridges. He shifts the focus to a different kind of software he's been exploring: horse racing prediction software. He discusses using both Game Boy and Macintosh programs for this purpose, including one called Horse Race Analyzer. He details the tedious process of inputting vast amounts of data for predictions and laments that despite the effort, the software often fails to predict winners successfully, even with different betting modes. Illustrations of horses and gambling-related figures accompany the text. Sedensky concludes by urging Sega to release a high-quality, practical horse racing game or prediction software that could actually help players win money, suggesting a gap in the market for truly effective titles. This page features the column Cutting Edge Enthusiasts page, Multimedia Declaration by Akinibi Hyaku. This being the 15th installment, marking the beginning of the Mega Drive's second chapter. The author discusses the announcement of the Mega Drive 2 and Mega CD 2, noting that while the Mega Drive 2 itself is a minor change focusing on cost reduction, the Mega CD 2's shift to a pop-up CD drive instead of front-loading was unexpected, but a welcome part of the redesign. The article highlights the trend towards cost and size reduction, comparing the new Sega hardware to competitors like the PC Engine Duor and the FM Towns Marty. It discusses the strategic positioning of the Mega Drive/Mega CD combination, suggesting that user expectations for performance are rising, necessitating more high-end options. The author feels the stacking Mega Drive 2 and Mega CD 2 are a good immediate solution, but expects future integrated units, similar to the Duor, will become the norm for further cost reduction. A notable disappointment mentioned is the lack of photo CD support on the Mega CD 2, suggesting the original Mega CD could perhaps fill this niche as a higher-end option. Overall, the article positions the new hardware as Sega's move to stay competitive in the evolving multimedia market. Images show the original and new Mega Drive/Mega CD setups, plus the Duor and FM Towns Marty for comparison. This page features the 6th installment of a column titled The Age is Virtual. though the content is more grounded in reality, focusing on the spring job hunting season. It details the process of applying for work in a magazine, including writing a resume, going through interviews, and starting the job. The article shares amusing anecdotes about troublesome people encountered during this process, such as applicants who ran away from home, tried to recruit others into a religion, stole game rooms, or submitted bizarre, nonsensical applications. A separate section reviews the pro wrestling video, UWF International, The Best Fight Volume 2, spotlighting Nobuhiko Takada, described as one of the strongest in the wrestling world. The review highlights matches featuring Takada against opponents like Ja Albright and Koji Kitao, praising the video's production and match selection, noting its focus on Takada's strength and skill. This page features the Sugimoto Research Lab column, where Talento Ri Sugimoto discusses the popular series Doraemon. Report 3 focuses on the lessons that can be learned from Doraemon, with Ri expressing her deep love for the franchise, having watched the anime since childhood and seen most of the movies, noting how they often leave a strong impression about the importance of living a better life. The column also touches on the Doraemon game, discussing its graphics, which receive mixed opinions, but Ri, being a big Doraemon fan, gives it her seal of approval. Gameplay elements like boss battles are mentioned, described as a simple rock-paper-scissors variant, where success depends on quick timing. Additionally, the page includes this month's Sugimoto topic, highlighting a bus tour event with 112 fan club members in Izu, where Dri acted as a guide. The trip featured cherry blossoms and delicious strawberries. The concluding summary reflects on life lessons, suggesting the game's simple timing mechanic might parallel gaining experience in life. This page provides a detailed guide on how to fill out a questionnaire postcard for the magazine. It shows examples of marking answers and explains where to write comments about your thoughts and impressions after reading. The survey covers demographic details like gender, age, occupation, and asks readers about their console ownership history and the number of Mega Drive games they own. It also inquires about other computer game magazines they read and asks them to list articles they liked or disliked in the current issue. A significant part of the survey is a long list of games readers are interested in buying next. This list features a wide variety of titles spanning genres from RPGs like Phantasy Star IV, Eye of the Beholder, and Langrisser 2, Warsong 2, to action games like Gunstar Heroes, Shinobi 2-1, Return of the Ninja Master, and Rocket Knight Adventures. Racing fans might be eyeing Virtua Racing or Road Rash 2, while fighting game enthusiasts could be looking at Street Fighter 2-Plus or Yu Yu Hakusho. There are also puzzle games like Columns 2I and Marble Madness, shooters like Alien 3 and MiG-29 Fulcrum, and unique titles like Sonic CD for the Mega CD. This diverse list reflects the broad appeal of the Mega Drive library at the time. Finally, the page announces the winners of giveaways from the previous month's issue, listing numerous names who won prizes ranging from Mega Drive and Game Gear software to other Sega-themed items. This page features the recently released Namco title, Balljacks. This sports game, available now, is set in a futuristic enclosed arena in the 77th century. The core gameplay involves competing on a fixed screen to capture balls using a rocket hand. Despite the simple concept, the game is praised for its depth, a hallmark of Namco's Mega Drive titles, with the computer AI offering challenging and strategic matches. The arena itself has distinct features, like the elevator hatch for repairing your machine, a safety zone where you are immune to balls, and a rail zone that transports captured balls. There's also a time limit mechanic. Losing all your balls means losing the round. Game modes include the World Championship, where the goal is to defeat all ranked opponents to become champion, a training mode offering free practice or a score-based time trial, and an Essential 2 player versus mode for competitive play, complete with handicap settings. This page dives deeper into Balljacks, offering tactical advice and a look at the opponents you'll face on the path to becoming world champion. It kicks off with a breakdown of essential game terminology, explaining core techniques like the attack for damaging opponents, the cut to intercept balls, double catch for grabbing two at once, and more advanced moves like shoot, feint, and hypercatch. It also mentions expert-level techniques like time difference attack and elevator attack. The bulk of the page is dedicated to the World Championship mode, profiling each of the 6 ranked opponents, from the rank 5 HHR-10 Type R up to the world champion tuned HHR-100. Each entry provides a screenshot of their machine and arena, along with a brief description outlining their characteristics and strategic approach. This section is crucial for preparing to face the increasingly difficult AI machines. Finally, the page highlights the optimal way to play ball jacks, with a section recommending vertical monitor orientation. Noting the game was designed with this in mind, it suggests using an analog controller, perhaps with a switch to adjust input for horizontal screens, or simply rotating your display for the most authentic experience. There's even a little note from the manufacturer about the balls themselves, adding a touch of quirky in-game lore. This page showcases Boogie Woogie Bowling on the Mega Drive, presented as a magnificent challenger, perfect for easily getting into bowling. It's highlighted as accessible, even if you've never held anything heavier than a controller. The game features a bonus mode and a practice mode, where you can even select lane conditions. Gameplay basics are covered, starting with choosing from 4 unique characters, each with different ball weight ranges and player types like balance, power, and technique. Once your character is set, you pick your ball weight, then proceed to setting spin, aiming your shot, and finally determining the power behind your throw. Screenshots illustrate these steps, including selecting the ball, setting spin, aiming, and the power gauge. Beyond the single-player experience, the page emphasizes the competitive spirit with battle play, stating the real fun of bowling is challenging friends. There's also a brief note from the manufacturer, apologizing for a release delay, but promising enhanced graphics and content. Overall, it presents Boogie Woogie Bowling as a fun, easy-to-learn game, with strategic depth through characters and modes, especially enjoyable in multiplayer. This article focuses on the final stage of James Bond 007, The Duel on the Mega Drive, a 100% completion, single-player action game. Players infiltrate a massive space shuttle base, Mission 4, requiring precise platforming across unstable terrain. The boss battle involves a mobile enemy appearing at the time limit's end. The article also summarizes previous missions, 13, including infiltrating mobile bases and navigating dangerous volcanic interiors. Tips from previous issues, such as the importance of saving Bond girls in the correct order and memorizing maps, are also highlighted. The spy column recommends watching Moonrakers before playing, noting its space setting. The article concludes by celebrating the series' 30th anniversary and Bond's enduring appeal. This page covers Snow Bros, highlighting it as a Mega Drive hot menu feature despite summer approaching. The premise is simple but engaging. 2 snowman heroes, Nick and Tom, embark on a quest to rescue princesses kidnapped by the evil Achichi King. The core gameplay involves hitting enemies with snowballs to freeze them, then kicking the resulting snowball to defeat them or roll them into other enemies. The article details key aspects like freezing enemies into snowballs, which is the game's basic technique. For boss fights, a strategy is mentioned, using the smaller enemies the boss throws by turning them into snowballs and launching them back. Various items are shown, including power-up drinks that make your character stronger, food items for scoring points, and lucky snowballs that grant an extra life. There's also a special bonus for clearing all enemies on a stage quickly, rewarding players with a bonus bag containing high-score items, and potentially a 1-up. Collecting the letters SN.O.W scattered across stages also grants a 1-up. The game features original levels plus additional stages for the Mega Drive version, offering plenty of challenges. The developer message describes the game as colorful, comical, and easy to control. The game information indicates it's a 2-player action game released by Tengen. This page features the upcoming RPG, Matin no Sumetsu, from Kodansha Soken, planned for release in late June. The game is presented as a 1-player adventure, where the protagonist, Alkernes, battles unknown demons. The page highlights the game's initial town, showcasing various key locations players will visit. Detailed glimpses are provided of the weapon shop, inn, item shop, bar, and temple, each with a screenshot of the in-game interface and a brief description of its function. A particular focus is placed on the unique rental shop, where players can rent powerful weapons and magic books for a daily fee, an intriguing risk-reward system. The page also introduces several early enemies encountered in the game, such as bats, soldiers, green snakes, and skeletons, giving players an idea of the challenges ahead. The developer provides a short message, confirming the game is nearing completion and encouraging players to look forward to its release. This page shifts gears from RPGs to high-flying action with LHX Attack Chopper, presented as Ela Victor's second polygon-based game. This is a realistic flight simulator, where you step into the cockpit of either the futuristic LHX or the familiar AH-64A Apache, tackling demanding missions for the U.S. Air Force. The game thrusts you into real-world hotspots like Libya, Vietnam, and East Germany, with terrain based on actual geographical data, adding a great layer of realism. Your objectives vary widely, from destroying enemy bases and missile sites to protecting friendly forces or rescuing downed pilots, all while facing a large variety of currently used enemy weapon systems. The controls aim for immersion, potentially offering a challenging but rewarding feel. A major highlight is the sheer number of camera views available. An impressive 11 different perspectives let you see your helicopter and the battlefield from almost every angle, including enemy viewpoints. You even get to choose which helicopter you'll pilot for each mission, the sleek LHX or the powerful attack-focused Apache. Plus, there's support for two-player cooperative play, which is always a fantastic addition for a simulator like this. The developers are clearly excited about this release, building on their previous Polygon flight sim experience. This page dives into the whimsical and bizarre world of James Pond 2. Codename Robocod. This is an action game featuring the titular character, a fish who is also a secret agent, with the ability to stretch his body to incredible lengths. The page highlights the game's over-the-top, distinctly foreign graphical style and surprisingly well-balanced gameplay, despite its apparent absurdity. The story sees James Pond dispatched to the North Pole to stop the evil drive. Maybe who has taken over Santa's toy factory. You'll navigate through 14 stages across 5 areas, encountering stages that are described as feeling like a daydream due to their strange design and controls. Screenshots showcase some of the weirdness, including peculiar items like a flying bathtub, unusual enemy designs such as a teddy bear boss, and diverse foes from steam trains to playing cards. The page notes the game features boss battles, like facing off against a giant teddy bear by stomping on its head. James Pond has a life system, going game over after 3 deaths. The article concludes by praising the game's unique charm, stating it's more than just a standard action or comical game, and has a distinct, dimensional appeal. There's also a humorous note about the game being certified software that increases alpha waves in the brain. This page focuses on the burgeoning world of RPGs on the Sega Mega Drive, declaring that a new era is upon the system, with Sega putting significant effort into the genre to meet user demand. The article highlights upcoming releases such as Shining Force 2, Pop Full Mail, Phantasy Star IV, and Surging Aura. A historical timeline traces the growth of Mega Drive RPGs from 1989, starting with titles like Phantasy Star II, Super Hydlide, and Vermilion. It shows the library expanding through the years, featuring key releases like Shining in the Darkness, Phantasy Star II-I, Rent-A-Hero, Shining Force, Landstalker, Lunar, The Silver Star, and Exile by 1992, alongside screenshots of these games. The text also briefly touches on the RPG landscape, on competing systems like the Super Famicom and PC Engine. The page includes an interview with Mr. Takami from Sega's RPG Project Room. He outlines Sega's commitment to serializing their RPGs into established brands, particularly focusing on the future development of the Shining and Phantasy Star series. He mentions Phantasy Star IV being designed as a culmination of the series, and highlights Shining Force 2 and a new action RPG called Shining Scythe as key upcoming titles for the Shining brand, emphasizing collaboration with external teams. This page continues the look at the exciting future of RPGs on the Mega Drive, specifically highlighting the highly anticipated Shining Force 2, The Ancient Seal. Following a year and 5 months since the previous installment, the game is slated for an October release, though pricing is still undecided. The article reveals the first glimpses of the game, showcasing character designs by animator Sue Yezin. We see illustrations of 4 key figures: the potential protagonist, a young man lacking adventure experience; the Princess of Grand Seal, who appears to be the heroine; Jippo, a rat-like thief known for helping the poor; and Jaja, a hobbit warrior and the protagonist's close friend, who struggles with schoolwork. Several screenshots offer a peek at the game world, including a town entrance with a promisingly large door, and a complex, multi-layered dungeon environment reminiscent of Escher's work, promising tricky navigation. To delve deeper than just visuals, the magazine interviewed Hiroyuki Takahashi, the president of Sonic Software Planning, who is handling the scenario. Based on this, they speculate on the game's system and story, anticipating that Sonic's involvement means the game will exceed expectations. Additionally, there's a brief update on the Sega CD title, Record of Lodoss War. While information has been scarce, game screens are expected soon. The battle system is described as highly strategic, comparable to simulation games, and will incorporate a skill system for character growth, aiming to be a culmination of previous efforts. Shining Force 2. The Ancient Seal, a highly anticipated sequel, promises significant improvements over its predecessor. The game retains the core event-driven combat system, but incorporates elements from Shining Force Gaiden and Gaiden 2, with a greatly expanded 16 megabit capacity. Visuals are enhanced, with more realistic field scenes and impressive magic effects. The game world appears richer, featuring shrines, dark interiors, and a bustling town center. The story, set on a new continent, is described as having a unique flow, with characters feeling more vibrant and a potential for a more adventurous narrative. Beyond typical heroics, the protagonist's journey may involve mythological creatures, hinted at in the screenshots. The game will feature a 90% system renewal and improved freedom of movement. A separate, mysterious title, Shining Rogue, featuring Hiroyuki Takahashi, is also mentioned, with more details expected later in the year or early next year. This page features a look at the new era of MegaDrive RPGs, highlighting two distinct titles. The main focus is Pop Full Mail, an action RPG making its debut on the Mega CD through a collaboration between Sega and Falcom. This port of the original game was decided upon due to strong user demand, following earlier plans for a different title. You play as Mail, a bounty hunter elf determined to get rich, chasing down high bounty targets. The page shows screenshots of the action gameplay and vibrant character art for Mail. Also covered is Yu Yu Hakusho Gaiden for the Mega Drive. This game, based on the popular anime, tells an original side story with adventure and action elements. Featuring a large 16 megabit size and impressive graphics, it brings characters like Yusuke, Kuwabara, Kurama, and Hiei to the console in a visual novel-style adventure. This page delves further into the upcoming Mega CD version of Popful Mail, offering predictions on how the game might change. It speculates that characters, especially Mail, will have a more mature design. The core gameplay system, allowing players to switch between the three main characters and select cleared stages, is expected to largely remain the same. A major highlight anticipated is high-quality animated conversation and event scenes, with rich facial expressions, and simultaneous voice acting and text display. While the total number of stages might not increase drastically, there's a hint of potential additions later in the game. The page also briefly touches upon After Armageddon, another title, describing its unique system where monsters transform by absorbing emotions after consuming humans. It promises significantly improved visuals compared to the previous game in the series, and calls it a distinctive work worth anticipating. This page shifts focus to upcoming RPGs on the Mega Drive, highlighting Phantasy Star IV and Surging Aura. Phantasy Star IV is set on the ravaged planet Motavia, which has become largely desertified following the collapse of the Mother Brain system from Phantasy Star II, leading to widespread destruction and the demise of the old civilization. The game introduces Pike, a new Motavian warrior character, and features enemies like the Sensor Bit Patrol pods. The page also previews Surging Aura, a Sega RPG featuring a unique spellcast system where incantations appear on screen in real time, and casting speed depends on the spell's power. Battles occur day and night, emphasizing physical combat. The preview introduces main characters like Muh, likely the protagonist, and potentially a magic swordsman, Parateum, a tough warrior party member, and Exorus, a magic user who seems adept at attack spells. Both games are scheduled for release within the year. This page dives into the world of the Mega CD, with a spotlight on the highly anticipated Shoot 'em Up, Sylphid. Developed by GameArts and slated for a mid-July release, the page boasts the grand reveal of highlights, including the game's opening demo. The text emphasizes how the visuals, shown at a recent event, were incredibly impressive, grabbing the attention of everyone who saw them, and reinforcing the game's focus on presentation. Featured is a detailed illustration of the Saturn 77 Sylphid ship itself, along with a glimpse of the game's stunning, pre-rendered visuals in a small screenshot. The page also provides technical specifications for the ship, noting it as a versatile heavy space fighter equipped with advanced propulsion like the Axion ramjet, and powerful weapon systems including pulse lasers, a new torpedo beam cannon, and photon missile launchers, underscoring its combat capabilities. The game is confirmed as a single-player experience. This page delves further into the highly anticipated Mega CD release, Sylphid, revealing more about its impressive presentation and the game's overall progression. The main focus is on the story, which sees the Milky Way Federation fleet battling a mysterious enemy force after an attack on an immigration planet. The journey to defend Earth involves encountering a giant mothership and then confronting a massive enemy fortress under construction. Screenshots highlight various scenes, including the iconic Se-77 Sylphid ship taking off, labeled Takeoff and Force Gate Open, flying over a blue planet likely identified as Earth, navigating complex space environments, and engaging different enemy types. A major point clarified is the scope of the demo sequences. Following up on the previous tease of the opening demo, the magazine reveals there isn't just one, but multiple demo types incorporated into the game. While the previously shown launch sequence was part of it, the actual opening demo was slightly different. These diverse demos aren't shown after every single stage clear, but are strategically placed during exciting moments to enhance the experience and are something to eagerly anticipate. The page reassures players that the visual flair extends beyond just the initial launch, promising a visually rich and engaging game. This page details two key aspects of the Mega CD's Sylphid: battles with a colossal enemy mothership, and the true opening demo sequence. The text highlights the intense nature of confronting the giant mothership, describing the approach as exhilarating. Screenshots show the Sylphid fighter navigating the massive structure, emphasizing the scale and detail. Words like approach and approach further underscore the close-quarters combat and tense maneuvering required during this battle. The reviewer notes that while words can't fully convey the spectacle, the images should help players visualize the action. Below this, the page proudly presents, "This is the real opening demo." A series of screenshots depicts the Sylphid fighters launching from a futuristic hangar, forming up, and preparing to engage the enemy. The narrative explains that upon receiving news of a rebel attack on Earth, the Sylphid squadron is launched from a warship en route to defend the planet. On-screen prompts like "Start" and "Strike the enemy" build anticipation. Although the demo sequence is only tens of seconds long, the reviewer clearly feels it's impressive, and a shame it's so brief, emphasizing its high quality and impact. This page delves into more of the varied gameplay environments in Sylphid on the Mega CD. The top section covers the intense action found within the asteroid belt. It describes how meteorites abound, sometimes filling the screen, and notes the impressive smooth movement despite the visual chaos. Battleships and beam turrets are also encountered here, adding to the danger. Screenshots illustrate the asteroids breaking up upon being hit, beams attacking from different angles, and lasers firing from turrets, capturing the high-octane nature of this stage. Moving on, the bottom section details scenarios involving infiltrating a massive fortress. The reviewer explains that attacking such a large structure necessitates entering its interior. The game features scenes of low-altitude flight and navigating confined spaces within the fortress. The accompanying screenshots showcase diverse interior areas, from robust, structurally sound sections to peculiar hexagonal environments and long, anticipation-building passages. The text highlights the detail and unique design of these indoor levels, posing the question of what challenges await within the depths of the fortress. This page explores how the impressive CG visuals in Sylphid are created, moving from wireframe models to completed graphics. It introduces the specialized 3D modeling tool developed by GameArts for the game, highlighting its speed and performance. The player ship is shown first, with its wireframe structure built from 2,313 polygons, followed by its fully rendered polygonal form, demonstrating how the tool adds surfaces and allows for easy coloring. Similarly, the enemy high-speed battleship is presented, beginning as a 2,132 polygon wireframe before its finished polygonal rendering. The text also notes a transforming battleship model uses a massive 11,692 polygons, and that explosion effects involve over 6,000 scattering polygons. A detailed look at the battleship's bridge showcases its intricate curved design, a specific focus for the game's artists. The page concludes by comparing a wireframe side view of the player's ship to its rendered version, illustrating how the detailed underlying structure is faithfully brought to life, a result of combining artistic skill with powerful tools. It provides a fascinating look into the technical artistry behind Sylphid's distinctive look. This page delves into Night Striker on the Mega CD, asking if the arcade excitement can truly be brought home. The reviewer concludes it's almost a perfect recreation, noting some unavoidable differences due to hardware, but confirming the essential atmosphere is intact and worth experiencing. The article highlights 3 key gameplay tips for mastering the game: getting used to turning, making effective use of homing attacks, and keeping the laser firing constantly. It strongly recommends using an analog controller, stating it significantly improves the experience, particularly for controlling the homing laser, and encourages players who own one to use it. The game includes the arcade title screen and opening demo, and there's even an analog stick input test feature. It also briefly touches upon the bonus point system after clearing stages, mentioning a challenging pacifist bonus awarded for completing a stage without shooting or taking damage. This page breaks down the structure of Night Striker, explaining that its 21 stages are organized into 9 distinct scenes or environments. Each scene not only features a different backdrop, but also introduces unique enemy types, demanding varied strategies for success. The guide covers each scene type: the bustling city, stages AOR, where avoiding buildings is key; the factory, BNP, filled with indestructible shutters; the canal, C, a watery route with hazardous pipes, some of which offer a bonus for navigating through; the open sea, DIU, where only aerial movement is possible; the underground passage, EJK, a temple, where all enemies are airborne; the temple, an open area featuring final scene packed with obstacles, where the player uses a powerful armor-miss. The magazine emphasizes that mastering the game requires understanding the specific challenges and enemy patterns presented in each of these 9 scenes. Night Striker's final 21 stages feature various challenging bosses. Strategies vary depending on the boss. Some, like the Field Generator and Gyrohound, require specific attack timing, while others, like the Dragonhead, present variations in numbers and attack patterns. Others, like the Night Jackal or Sky Dragon, demand different approaches: direct attack or a wider strategy. Bosses can self-destruct after 10 seconds if not defeated, offering a defensive option. Ultimately, success depends on understanding each boss's unique weaknesses and patterns. This boss guide for Night Striker stages JU details strategies for each encounter. Each stage's boss, like the Night Jackal, Great Destroyer, Firecracker, Moving Manipulators, Gyrohounds, Skydragon, and Dragonhead machines, is described with a pixel art depiction and gameplay screenshot. The guide emphasizes recognizing attack patterns, using evasive maneuvers, and targeting weak points. Strategies vary. For example, Stage J's Night Jackal is easier in the underground, while Stage L's Great Destroyer requires dodging lasers and missiles. The guide highlights specific challenges like the Firecracker's different turn strategies and the varied tactics for Gyrohounds and Moving Manipulators. Ultimately, the guide's core advice is to understand each boss's attack patterns and adapt your strategy accordingly. This page dives into the mechanics of the Mega CD RPG Seima Densetsu 3x3 Eyes, scheduled for release on January 23. Taking a break from story spoilers, the focus here is on the battle system and a tease of the Macau Dog Race minigame. The magazine highlights 2 distinct battle modes: an anime off mode, perfect for quickly clearing encounters by facing enemies directly, and a visually rich, full animation side view mode. While the core system remains consistent, the side view mode truly shines, offering an immersive experience by showcasing each character's unique, dynamic attack animations, as well as varied enemy patterns. Screenshots illustrate this, featuring Pei's charmingly simple barehand punches, and Yakumo's rapid-fire attacks and magical abilities. The article notes that Pei's fighting style transforms dramatically when her third eye awakens, allowing her to unleash devastating magic, a stark contrast to her initial cute attacks. This detailed look suggests a battle system with depth and visual flair, especially in the recommended side view mode. This page features an exciting announcement about a fan gathering for popular voice actress Megumi Hayashibara, known for voicing Pai in the Mega CD RPG 3x3 Eyes. The event, tied to her radio show Heartful Station, is scheduled for June 13 in Osaka and promises a packed program including a film screening, a Puyo Puyo tournament, and a song and talk corner. It sounds like a must-attend for fans in the Kansai area. Elsewhere on the page, we get a closer look at the fun gambling spot discovered in the previous page's game, 3x3 Eyes. This is the dog race minigame. It explains how betting works, noting there are 2 types: simply picking the winner, which is easier but pays less, and picking the top 2 finishers, which is harder but offers a higher payout. The page shows the odds, and even mentions a tout you can pay for tips on which dogs might win, though it humorously warns that getting too into the gambling could leave your wallet empty. It highlights this as a potentially rewarding way to earn money if you're lucky, perfect for when you're short on cash. This page dives into the Mega CD RPG Illusion City, covering the game's early highlights up to a major confrontation. The game, set for release on May 28th, continues the story from the previous recap. Hong Kong was destroyed by quakes, rebuilt by SEGA, but now monsters lurk. You play as Tenjin, a diver, who gets drawn into SEGA's schemes after searching for someone. The focus shifts to Tenjin and Mikuni, finally entering the danger zone. We see familiar locations like Tenjin's apartment, the teacher's house, and Aaron's disco, the Taoyuan restaurant. Before moving into the more perilous Kowloon area, a key plot point emerges. You discover you can't reach the West District, where Xiaomei is believed to be, because Neo Hong Kong is blockaded into separate zones accessible only by special elevators, or EVS, and you lack the required ID pass for the upper levels. The solution involves counterfeiting an Inmoid, after gathering information, leading to exploration of the abandoned elevator area. The page also details the enemies you'll face in the danger zone. While general foes aren't overly tough, watch out for those with special attacks, like the scythe-wielding Kitua, the poisonous Zuva, or the wind-assimilating New Nitua, which requires a longer fight. The guide recommends battling here to gain experience and power up. Finally, don't forget to use the public phone terminals scattered throughout Neo Hong Kong. They are SEGA-managed points for saving your progress and gathering vital information, an essential tool for navigating the city. This page details the progression in Illusion City, focusing on gaining entry into the West District and the formidable SEGA headquarters. Having successfully forged an Inmoid pass, you can now bypass the danger zone and reach the upper areas, specifically SEGA HQ, via the orbital elevator. Inside the HQ, the plot thickens significantly, with encounters with two members of the Demon Heaven sect's 8 Heavenly Kings, South Heavenly Lai and West Heavenly Fei. The guide warns that the protagonist, Tenjin, is no match for South Heavenly Lai alone, showing images of divers falling and even the ally Isaac being potentially defeated by his power. Amidst this chaos, a mysterious man named Kai appears, offering unexpected aid, and you also have a reunion with the teacher. The path leads to a confrontation with both West Heavenly Fei and Ryukei. The page also highlights the enemies in SEGA HQ. Guard robots are present and good for grinding experience, while others like Rasuva with their laser attacks and the dangerous Harmelin require more caution. The battle against West Heavenly Face is a major hurdle, but the game assures you the story continues beyond this point. Hints of future locations, like the Jiraku District and the Jirate Vara, are shown, promising further adventures despite the Demon Heaven sect's seemingly passive reaction to these events. The relationships between key characters, like South Heavenly Lai and Xiaomei, are also teased as future plot points. Get ready, because it's to be continued! This page delves into ARCS 222, a popular RPG series from Wolf Team making its way to the Sega CD. Scheduled for a June 25th release and currently 90% complete, the game is generating significant buzz, allowing fans to fully experience the history of ARCS in a way not possible before. The report highlights the positive fan reaction to the port announcement and notes that the developer is putting great effort into this version. Features like battle animation showcase impressive and flashy enemy movements during combat, while the move system offers a convenient instant travel option via a map. The page also details the diverse array of character classes available in the game, outlining their specific strengths and magical abilities, from powerful dragon knights and sword kings to mystical holy sages and summoning kings. Despite a slight development delay, the magazine conveys confidence that the game will be a high-quality production. This page delves into the rich story of Arcus, providing a detailed narrative walkthrough of the game's opening chapters. It begins with the protagonist, Jeddah, leaving his father's grave to become a knight and journeying to the town of Prudencia. He then seeks his father's sword in the Elmazard Holy Sanctuary dungeon, where he encounters the Thieftron. The journey continues, with Jeddah finding the sword and returning to Prudencia, where he meets Aaron in a tavern. She joins the party after a chaotic incident. Their escape is short-lived, as they are captured by Vid and the guards. The story progresses with an audience with Princess Alice, who reveals crucial truths, prompting Jeddah to continue his quest. The adventurers venture into Aldor Forest, where they meet the elf warrior Diana, who joins them in their search for the elusive elf storyteller. They eventually find the storyteller's cabin empty but later encounter Pict, a half-elf recognized as the storyteller's successor, adding him to the party. Researching a Bodhi tree based on Pic's information, they uncover a puzzle related to the legend of the four great spirits. With Vid's guidance, they solve the mystery. Learning ancient records are kept in a tower by Crescent Lake, marking the next destination for the fated heroes as their battle is about to begin. The page features several screenshots depicting exploration, dialogue, and character portraits from the game. This page introduces Allshark for the Mega CD. Presented as a grand space fantasy RPG, it highlights the game's prior success on platforms like the X68000, and notes the involvement of staff who worked on popular titles like Emerald Dragon. The article teases that the Mega CD version will reveal the secrets of the game's popular mystery. The core feature emphasized is the vast universe setting, departing from typical sword and magic fantasy to attract RPG fans to a new adventure world. The story begins with protagonist Shion as Magian on the colonized planet Home, where a meteorite investigation leads to tragedy involving his father, JID, and his girlfriend Shuko. Witnessing the mysterious transformation of Shuko's father, Professor Penrose, and Jid's death at the hands of something unknown from the meteorite, Shion and Shuko learn of the Zoria Empire's ambitions and set out across the stars to stop them. Screenshots showcase standard RPG gameplay with a top-down perspective for movement, similar to classic titles, alongside a distinct interface for interplanetary travel via spaceship. The page emphasizes the visual scenes and expanded universe setting as key aspects of the game. Page summary. This page introduces Allshark, a space fantasy RPG for Mega CD, highlighting its story, universe, and gameplay features like space travel. This page delves deeper into the game Allshark for the Mega CD, focusing on its battle system and dramatic visual scenes. Beyond simple command inputs, the combat incorporates tactical elements, requiring players to consider party formation and movement range, similar to other popular RPGs, with strategic depth. A major highlight is the game's impressive visual scenes, which have been significantly enhanced for the Mega CD port. These dramatic sequences tie directly into the game's narrative, particularly the tragic story of Shuko and her father, Professor Penrose, or Mammon, having been transformed by the meteorite investigation, and now a member of the Zoria Empire. His reunion with Shuko and Shinon is depicted as a deeply shocking event, especially as he is revealed to be the one responsible for Shinon's father's death. The page presents a sequence of illustrated scenes showing this confrontation, the mysterious appearance of a woman named Lucia, her subsequent collapse, and Shinon's grief. The narrative thread concludes with Shuko's guilt over her father's actions and the impending conflict with the Zoria Empire forces, emphasizing that the party must push past sorrow to face the battle ahead. Page summary. This page details Allshark's tactical battles and dramatic visual scenes, highlighting the tragic story arc involving Shuko, her father, and Shion. This page features a discussion with the development staff of the Sega CD adventure game Switch, celebrating its completion after a 4-year development cycle. The game, now available for 8,800 yen, is a single-player title and is 100% complete. The page presents interviews with the team, covering various roles including coordinator, sound designer, graphic artist, programmer, composer/director, and even the provider of human sound effects. They share their experiences and feelings on completing the project. Comments range from relief and exhaustion after the long development, to reflections on the unique work environment and the challenges of explaining the creative process, especially for the game's comedic elements. A photo shows the developers gathered around a monitor, displaying the iconic Mona Lisa image, which is also a scene within the game. A section titled, My Favorite Gag, highlights specific memorable moments from Switch. These include a scene featuring multiple heads, which the composer/director mentions for its sound, a boat scene favored by the sound designer for its audio, and the Mona Lisa scene, chosen by the coordinator. These snippets offer a glimpse into the game's unique and potentially bizarre sense of humor. Page summary. This page provides a retrospective interview with the developers of the Sega CD game Switch, discussing its 4-year development, team roles, and highlighting favorite comedic moments from the game. This page continues the discussion with the development team behind the Sega CD game Panic, known as Switch in Japan. The main article poses the question, are there many liquid gags? Referencing the game's peculiar humor. The developers, including programmer Akira Wada, sound staff Masaru Setsumaru, and graphic staff Takaichi Umadate, discuss the challenges and unique aspects of its 4-year development. The interview highlights the game's demanding check process, the sheer amount of content needed, like adding 7 more patterns to a favored graphic, and the significant inclusion of Gero, Puke, related gags, which apparently took up a large portion of the game's content and graphics effort. They also touch on the difficulty of creating the game's unique sound effects, especially for non-existent sounds like a vending machine puking, and the sheer volume of sound effects recorded. Below the interview, a section titled, My Favorite Gag, showcases specific moments from the game chosen by the staff. These include a scene with multiple heads, highlighted for its sound design, a boat sequence, also praised for its audio, and the memorable Mona Lisa in an elevator scene, selected by the graphic designer. Photos of the 3 featured staff members are shown alongside descriptions of their roles and contributions to Panic. The page gives a great insight into the eccentric and challenging nature of developing this unique Sega CD title. This page features the Sega CD game KO Flying Squadron, known as in Japan. Described as a comical shooting game set in the turbulent late Edo period, the author praises its suitability for the current era, and notes that both the characters and gameplay strike a good balance. Scheduled for an August release with 80% completion, it's a single-player experience. The page includes a character roster, introducing the key players. The protagonist is Rami, a guardian girl from a lineage protecting a secret treasures key, accompanied by her pet dragon, Spot, Pomu, who serves as the player's ship. Other characters include her forgetful grandparents, the villainous Drive Pawn, a mysterious Tanuki who steals the key, and the 7 lucky gods, who have been tamed by Dr. Pawn and appear as early bosses. Screenshots showcase the vibrant gameplay with a Ramami riding Spot and shooting enemies, as well as a dramatic opening scene depicting a mechanical treasure ship arriving at Edo Castle. The story involves Rami and Spot embarking on a journey to recover the stolen key from Dr. Ponin, heading towards Edo under martial law, after Rami learns about her family's long history as guardians. This page continues the feature on KO Flying Squadron, declaring that the game's charm will hook you the moment you grab the controller. The reviewer highlights it as Victor Entertainment's confident release, balancing comical elements with solid shooting game mechanics that even power users will appreciate. Despite the orthodox control and power-up systems, the exhilarating feeling of a good shooter is fully present. The setting, a parody of the Bakumatsu period, gives the game a quirky flavor, but the core gameplay makes the characters, including protagonist Rami and her pet dragon Spot, truly come alive. Even individual enemy characters are noted for having detailed attack patterns. The page details the game's highlights, covering weapon options, like the charged shot for powerful attacks, and various items that strengthen your abilities. Rami also utilizes sub-weapons like a bomber, backshot, and homing shots, which switch automatically, requiring players to adapt to the situation. Screenshots illustrate these weapon types and the unique look of enemies. The diverse cast of characters is emphasized, with a visual grid showcasing many of the distinct foes you'll encounter. A segment focuses on the game's production, specifically the narration recording session for the animation sequences. A photo shows the voice cast, including veteran voice actors Norio Wakamoto, Yoshiaki Yara, Kaiko Yamamoto, and Masako Ikeda, alongside new idol Miho Sugino. A profile for the 15-year-old Miho Sugino is included, listing her hobbies and current work, positioning her as a promising talent involved in the project. This page dives into LucasArts' classic point-and-click adventure game, The Secret of Monkey Island, for the Mega CD. Based loosely on Treasure Island, it tells the humorous and mysterious story of Guybrush Threepwood's quest to become a pirate. The gameplay is straightforward, using a cursor and command list, allowing players to fully immerse themselves in the adventure without getting bogged down. To become a true pirate, Guybrush must pass 3 trials: sword fighting, thievery, and treasure hunting. The feature highlights key locations on Melee Island, including the Scum Bar, where you gather information from drunken pirates, and where you meet the pirate leaders who present the trials. It also showcases various characters and locations you'll encounter, such as the mysterious street corner guy, the church, the eerie kitchen, and the jail cell where someone is locked up. Screenshots give a glimpse into the game's detailed environments and the quirky casts, including the intimidating pirate leaders Meathook and One-Eyed Jack. The article emphasizes, the game is packed with gags and clever writing, promising a highly enjoyable experience. It notes the game is 80% complete and set for a summer release. This page previews 2 exciting Mega CD titles. First up is Shin Megami Tensei, currently only 10% complete, but showing off some impressive monster designs like Surt, Asura King, Ariok, Gabriel, and Astaroth. It's an RPG port, adding new events, promising a fresh experience for fans of the original. Next is Popful Mail, an action game based on the Famicom title Kokoron. The highlight here is the incredibly deep character creation system. You can combine 16 different options for the head, body, and weapon, resulting in over 4,000 unique looks, each affecting your stats and abilities. The game features charming stages with cheerful backgrounds and challenging boss battles, including the Skeletal Joker, the Pirate Flint, and the Fairy Titania. It's nearly finished, sitting at 90% completion, and is planned for a late June release. This page is all about the upcoming Mega CD space simulation game, Mega Schwarzschild. It's confirmed to be a perfect port, handled by the original developers, Kogato Studio, and is slated for a June 25th release at 100% completion. The article emphasizes the game's beautiful visual scenes, featuring character art and spaceship designs, enhanced with voice acting, and detailed graphics that truly pull you into the universe's conflict against the Orakuru Empire. A major highlight for this Mega CD version is the revamped battle system. While previous versions focused on individual units, here you command units in formations, adding a new layer of tactical depth with a system reminiscent of rock paper scissors advantages. Quick formation changes are key to victory, though an auto battle option is also available. Core elements like unit upgrades, repairs, and developing new ships are all retained from the original. The narrative unfolds through these battles and interspersed visual scenes, showcasing the escalating war. The next page introduces the third scenario for the Sega Mega CD interactive comic adventure game, Warao Salesman. Based on the popular manga and anime series, the game promises visuals and voice work faithful to the source material, allowing players to step directly into its bizarre world. The key gameplay difference is that the player makes choices that influence the story. The article highlights the third scenario, titled The Man Who Transformed, featuring a seemingly plain salaryman protagonist whose mundane life is turned upside down after an encounter with the mysterious Fukuzu Moguro. Screenshots depict the salaryman's daily commute and his secret indulgence in adult magazines, leading up to the fateful meeting where Moguro offers his services to fill the emptiness in his heart. This Mega CD page previews upcoming games. F1 Circus CD, from Nichibutsu, is a highly detailed racing sim featuring a wide variety of cars and tracks with elevation changes. CD Sonic the Hedgehog, at 50% completion, promises classic Sonic gameplay with potential 3D stages, and the addition of Amy Rose. Mega CD Extra Info details other projects, including several titles from Japan Telecom, a 3D dungeon RPG port, likely Shining Force CD, Nichibutsu's Sengoku Denshu, a Valiak-like shooter, and a possible the Third World War simulation, showcasing the Mega CD's diverse lineup. This page covers the PC title, LucasArts Star Wars, X-Wing. Described as an immersive simulation game, it faithfully recreates the iconic space battles from the original Star Wars films. You get to pilot 3 different Rebel Alliance starfighters, the X-Wing, U-Wing, and A-Wing, each with performance true to the movies. The game uses detailed polygon graphics for ships and cockpits, providing a realistic view. Gameplay involves finding targets using the radar and attacking. Controls are simpler than some simulations but offer depth in action. A key feature is the ability to adjust energy balance between engines, lasers, and shields from the cockpit. The game offers various ways to play, including a pilot proving ground for training, historical combat missions based on events from the movies, and a campaign mode called Tour of Duty, where you participate in ongoing operations. The reviewer highlights the detail, such as markings on ships and accurate cockpit layouts for each craft. There's also mention of bonus material, like the Farlander Papers guidebook included with early releases, containing photos and lore to satisfy Star Wars fans. Overall, it's praised as a highly detailed and immersive experience that brings the Star Wars universe to life. This page covers Sega's portable Game Gear lineup for June 1993. Highlighted by the release of Tom and Jerry. This title is a side-scrolling action game where you control Tom, relentlessly pursuing Jerry across various environments like a house, a bookshop, and even a ship. The gameplay involves navigating traps and using different jumps to keep up with the mischievous mouse. Bonus stages offer challenges like maze-like heart collection or catching items dropped by Jerry. The reviewer specifically praises the game's character animation, noting Tom's movements are exceptionally smooth, even comparing them to the fluidity seen in Prince of Persia. The page also features a preview of GG Aleste 2, the sequel to the classic Game Gear shooter. This entry in the renowned Aleste series introduces new weaponry, including a powerful bomb and a shield, alongside the standard shot and 4 other weapon types. The game promises enhanced speed and action, with visuals that blend mechanical designs with organic elements. The preview shows chaotic, multi-directional scrolling battlefields across 6 different stages, indicating a challenging and visually impressive shoot-'em-up experience on the portable hardware. The introduction notes that the Game Gear is hitting its stride, with this month's releases showcasing the system's capabilities. This page highlights several upcoming Game Gear titles. First is Harima Nada, a sumo game based on the manga, which is 100% complete. It's described as an unconventional take on sumo, featuring dynamic moves like jumping and special techniques powered by fighting spirit, and even opponents sinking into the ring. The game's visuals are praised, utilizing a 4 MB cartridge. It also includes a unique Exercising Harima-kun item. Next up is the Game Gear port of Streets of Rage 2. While Max Skate is cut from this version, it features Versus mode and is noted for its high level of completion. Finally, Shining Force Gaiden 2, the sequel to the handheld Shining Force RPG side story, is shown at 90% completion. This tactical RPG is set to introduce new characters, including a centaur girl named Sarah. The G.G hotline section features reader feedback, including a strong desire for Game Gear hardware improvements like video output and a higher quality screen, and speculation about Super Monaco GP2 potentially coming to the system. This page features the Difficult Games International Rescue Mission, Thunderbirds Are Go Go corner, which is celebrating its first anniversary. This issue focuses on providing assistance for the game's side pocket. The section highlights messages from players who are stranded, specifically one struggling to clear the trick shot stages after each game, even when exceeding the score requirements. The editors admit they also had trouble with the trick shots, until a solution was sent in by a reader. The page then provides a detailed guide for clearing each trick shot stage, from A through S, with corresponding screenshots of the pool table setups and brief instructions. All shots are meant to be taken at full power. The section concludes by acknowledging the help received, and noting that the software prize for this month's lottery has been decided. This page features the BeepMD Secret Technique League, Volume 38, diving into hidden techniques for classic Sega CD titles. The main focus is on the fighting game Fatal Fury, providing commands for powerful special moves for key characters like Terry Bogard and Kenny Bogard, Joe Higashi, and Geese Howard. Beyond basic moves, the page reveals practical tricks for Fatal Fury players, such as a method to increase your available credits to 9 on the continue screen, useful for practice runs, and also shows how to access an unlimited time mode by selecting 00 in the options menu, perfect for mastering character matchups without pressure. Shifting gears, the page also highlights a trick for Final Fight CD. It details a process involving the options menu and returning to the title screen via a specific button sequence to unlock an auto rapid fire mode. This allows players to execute rapid punches simply by holding down the attack button, offering a strategic advantage. The page concludes with a brief section soliciting reader submissions for more hidden game techniques. This page continues the History of TV Games series, focusing on significant arcade releases from 1980. The spotlight is firmly on Nichibutsu's groundbreaking title, Crazy Climber. This game was revolutionary not just for its unique premise of climbing skyscrapers, but especially for its control scheme, utilizing 2 four-way joysticks to simulate the climber's arms moving independently. The article details the challenging gameplay, where players must navigate around opening and closing windows, avoid falling flower pots and birds dropped by residents, and even dodge the infamous King Kong at the top. It highlights the game's charming voice samples and memorable music, including the surprising inclusion of the Doraemon theme when grabbing onto a helicopter. The article also briefly mentions Taito's Lupin III as another significant 1980 release, noting it as a pioneering character-driven game. Crazy Climber is presented as a key title that helped Nichibutsu gain prominence, following up on their success with Mooncresta. This page explores the history of 1980 arcade hits Crazy Climber and Lupin III. This page continues the dive into the 1980 arcade hit, Crazy Climber. The title at the top, roughly translating to "Fools Like High Places," exactly right, perfectly captures the essence of the game. The page breaks down the experience across 4 distinct buildings, labeled 1 through 4. Each section presents multiple screenshots showing the progression up a skyscraper. Building 1 introduces the basic climb, emphasizing careful navigation around opening windows and falling objects like flower pots. Building 2 ups the ante with different building layouts and challenges, including the infamous King Kong. The text highlights the need for precise 2-joystick control to avoid pitfalls. Building 3 introduces new obstacles like birds dropping waste and balloons. The commentary notes the increasing difficulty and the importance of learning to anticipate dangers. Finally, Building 4 presents a split path, described as a fork in the road of fate, where luck plays a significant role in survival. The reviewer emphasizes that even skilled players can be thwarted by random events, underscoring the game's challenging nature and requiring players to make luck their ally to reach the top. The page effectively illustrates the escalating difficulty and varied challenges encountered across Crazy Climber's different stages. This page focuses on Taito's 1980 arcade game, Lupin II, which brought the hugely popular character to the world of video games. Developed on hardware similar to Space Invaders, the game featured pixelated graphics but leveraged the beloved cast of characters. The gameplay involves guiding Lupin with a 4-way joystick to collect dollar bags and return them to the bottom of the screen while avoiding Inspector Zenigata. The screenshots show the simple, blocky character sprites and gameplay scenarios, including Lupin climbing and the jail screen if he's caught. The text notes that carrying multiple bags slows Lupin down considerably, and that clearing a stage involves a brief appearance from Fujiko, depicted with equally simple graphics. Despite the graphical limitations, the reviewer suggests that the game successfully captured the essence of the series, and that players' imagination could easily compensate for the basic visuals, making it an enjoyable experience rooted in its era. The page also includes an image of the game's circuit board and a brief list of other notable events from 1980. This page continues the focus on Taito's 1980 Lupin III arcade game. The top half displays several screenshots showing the gameplay where Lupin navigates levels to collect dollar bags while being pursued by Inspector Zenigata and police dogs. The text highlights gameplay mechanics such as Lupin's energy meter for using warp points to escape and the reduced movement speed when carrying multiple bags. It also notes that later stages feature 2 Zenigatas and more dogs, increasing the challenge. A score screen showing "You must be Lupin" is also pictured. The lower section introduces what appears to be a completely different game, titled "Finally Marrying Fujiko." Screenshots show Lupin, Fujiko, and children in a forest environment, suggesting a drastic shift in theme from the original arcade game. The text confirms this quirky premise, mentioning Lupin marrying Fujiko, and even having up to 6 children as you progress through the stages. This unexpected twist is presented as a humorous take on the character. The page concludes with a large, dynamic illustration of Lupin manipulating Fujiko, Jigen, and Goemon as puppets, emphasizing the distinct, energetic style of Monkey Punch's original manga. This page focuses on the Neo Geo system, specifically highlighting the fighting game World Heroes 2. The top section introduces the game as a sequel, noting its significant size of 146 megabits and its positive reception in arcades. The article expresses excitement about the game and the growth of the fighting game genre. The page showcases the character select screen and individual character art, emphasizing that the roster has expanded to 14 fighters, adding 6 new characters to the original 8. The reviewer notes that information on special move commands will be available in future reports. Further down, there are sections detailing the gameplay. The deathmatch mode returns with updated rules, where losing happens by being knocked down for a 10 count, and timeouts are judged by the number of downs. It mentions that both physical strength and spirit are important. The How to Operate section provides a basic guide to the controls, explaining the functions of the A, B, C, and D buttons, and the 8-direction lever for movement and actions. Finally, a smaller section at the bottom right briefly features another Neo Geo game, 8-Man, described as a highly regarded action game where you control the hero 8-Man to defeat evil. It notes that while attacking alone might seem weak, combining moves like sliding makes the game very enjoyable. The article also mentions the potential strength of the 2-player cooperative special moves. This page is a reader giveaway section from the June 1993 issue, offering various prizes to readers. You can win your choice of a Mega Drive console, 30 winners, or a Game Gear game, 5 winners, selecting from any software released by the end of May 1993 for Mega Drive, Mega CD, or Game Gear. Other prizes include a Sega 6-button arcade pad, 10 winners, commemorating the release of Street Fighter II, Champion Edition, a return to the 6-button era, Also available are autograph boards signed by voice actors for Izumi Takemoto and Yumimi, 5 winners, Switch Store posters, 3 winners, and special Fatal Fury phone cards, 3 winners. A prize for those eagerly awaiting proper fighting games. An editorial piece discusses the gaming industry landscape, noting Sega's relatively young age compared to Nintendo, the delay of Street Fighter II Champion Edition, and speculates on Sega's position. The magazine also lists its staff and provides a phone number for reader questions about the magazine content. They are also looking for new writers. The next issue is scheduled for release on June 8th. This page features striking artwork promoting Street Fighter II Champion Edition on the Mega Drive. In the foreground, the iconic fighter Ryu is depicted with a determined expression, ready for battle, while the sinister figure of M. Bison looms large behind him with glowing eyes and a menacing grin, set against a dynamic blue background. The Capcom logo is prominently displayed at the top. The text highlights key features of this release, proclaiming that a mega-level battle begins now, likely referencing the Mega Drive platform itself. Excitingly, it states that the 4 boss characters are playable, a major addition that allowed players to control Balrog, Vega, Sagat, and M. Bison for the first time. It also confirms that mirror matches, where both players can select the same character, are possible. Described as an intense action game, this advertisement effectively showcases the eagerly anticipated features that made Champion Edition a landmark release and a must-have title for fighting game fans on the Mega Drive. This page prominently features Street Fighter II Champion Edition for the Sega Mega Drives. It showcases all 12 characters from this version: Ryu, E, Honda, Blanca, Guile, Balrog, Vega, Ken, Chun-Li, Zangief, Dhalsim, Sagat, and M. Bison. The text announces the upcoming release of Street Fighter II Champion Edition on the Mega Drive, highlighting the excitement it generated across Japan. It confirms that in addition to the original 8 fighters, the 4 boss characters, Balrog, Vega, Sagat, and M. Bison, are now fully playable. Mirror matches, allowing 2 players to select the same character, are also possible. The game promises enhanced special moves for each character, setting the stage for endless battles to determine who is the world's strongest fighter. The page also introduces compatible controllers designed for the Mega Drive, specifically mentioning the Capcom Power Stick Fighter MD and the CPS Fighter MD. These controllers are described as bringing the arcade game's feel home, with features like turbo and slow functions. Both the game and controllers are announced as soon to be released, with the price yet to be determined. This page shifts focus to the Sega Game Gear, featuring the upcoming sumo game, Aria Harimanada. Based on the popular comic of the same name, this fighting game puts you in the role of the formidable Yokozuna, Harimanada, challenging you to defeat a series of powerful rivals using diverse techniques and deadly special moves. The page highlights the game's dynamic visuals and its status as the first fighting or sumo game released for the Game Gear. It was scheduled for a soon release at a price of 3,800 yen and categorized as a sports game. The page also includes information promoting the Game Gear hardware itself, emphasizing its portable color display, and lists prices for the console and its dedicated TV tuner accessory. Standard magazine information, including the title, Beep Mega Drive, the June 1993 issue date, and the price of 490 yen, runs down the right side.